Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Director Rob Reiner's 32-year-old son, Nick, is expected to make his first court appearance in his parents' deaths a day after prosecutors announced first-degree murder charges. Los Angeles Police Chief Jim McDonnell.
This case is heartbreaking and deeply personal, not only for the Reiner family and their loved ones, but for our entire city. We extend our deepest condolences to all of those who were affected by this tragedy.
Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti reports from L.A.
The motive at this point, still unclear, but we do have a better sense of the timeline, primarily emerging from a day of reporting. Police are confirming Rob and Michelle Reiner were discovered in their master bedroom Sunday afternoon. It implies perhaps that this attack happened in the early morning as they were asleep.
The New York Times says a massage therapist alerted the Reiner's daughter, Romy, after no one responded at her parents' home when the therapist showed up for a scheduled session. In Australia, first funerals for victims of the mass shooting Sunday that killed 15 people on Bondi Beach. We're learning more about the hero who tackled one of the gunmen. CBS's Anna Corin is in Sydney.
It turns out that he was hit 5 times. His left arm has lost feeling. He has just come out of surgery, but I understand that surgery went well.
The surviving suspect has been charged with terrorism and murder. Police in Providence, Rhode Island have taken a new step in their search for a suspect in Saturday's mass shooting that killed 2 students at Brown University. CBS's Anna Schechter.
They've put out this video. In fact, they've enhanced the video. So they say that it's easier to see, but it's really challenging. You see an individual, a man wearing a surgical mask and dark clothing.
Police believe the suspect may have been casing the campus area for hours before the attack. Police in Brookline, Massachusetts, investigating the killing of an MIT professor in his home Monday night.
47-year-old nuclear science and engineering professor Nuno Loriero was shot multiple times. Police aren't saying if they've identified a suspect. Family friend Eurydice Hersey organized a community vigil last night.
It's the only way to get through something that's so enormous, so tragic.
Ann Greenwald is Loriero's neighbor.
We're living in such terrible times right now that it seems like violence is just happening everywhere.
Police do not believe Loriero's shooting was connected to last weekend's mass shooting at Brown University. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
What to do to prevent flu from spreading at school? The Dexter District in Kansas has dismissed students and staff a week early for the holiday break after 35% of kids were out sick Monday. This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
It is 6:03, and right now in downtown St. Louis, mostly clear skies, 38 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman.
Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 233 is adopted.
And with that, the slimmed down St. Louis County budget is passed by council members. They trimmed tens of millions off the original proposal made by County Executive Sam Page. Councilwoman Lisa Clancy voted no.
My colleague said earlier that this council does not implement, that's up to departments. This is true, but our biggest responsibility is to provide the resources for departments to implement what we pass so they can implement our policies with fidelity. Ultimately, cuts to essential services without a plan to build revenue, the revenue that it takes to provide a modern county government that serves us all is short-sighted and will cost us in the long run.
The county is dipping into Rams settlement funds to cover the remaining $15 million shortfall.
I'm Sean Malone. Ahead of the county council voting to approve the trimmed down budget, Dr. Kanika Cunningham, the county health director, decried the process behind how the council determined how much they would cut. She said she did not meet with the council members ahead of their budget presentation.
I haven't seen the bill. I actually learned about the cuts, listened to the media press conference yesterday. So I think that's unfortunate as a department head that I have not even been afforded the luxury to know what the cuts are so I can plan appropriately.
County Executive Sam Page also said he had not seen the proposed budget before it was passed.
We had a firefighter Mayday situation declared overnight in the city of St. Louis. However, we're told that firefighter who plunged through a floor into a basement of a burning vacant home in the 4900 block of Arlington is okay and, in fact, returned to duty at the scene after being checked out by EMS.
The St. Charles medic who died in the line of duty is being laid to rest today. Lieutenant Sarah McCarthy worked for the county ambulance district. She had chest pains during a shift in late November and last week suffered a setback in her recovery and died.
There will be a procession from Schrader Funeral Home in Baldwin to the ambulance district headquarters in St. Peter starting at 7:30 this morning. So on your morning commute this morning, you may notice ambulances, fire trucks, and police vehicles. That procession will go down Highway K to 364 to 270 to 64. The service is at the Cathedral Basilica and starts at 10.
The Edwardsville School Board voted without dissent Monday night to approve a separation package with its former district superintendent.
Board President Bob Patey declined to say what happened that led to Dr. Patrick Shelton's suspension in late September and now his departure, citing board moves are open to review through a Freedom of Information request. Patey then went on to affirm support for acting superintendent Alan Duncan.
We will rely heavily on Dr. Duncan to navigate the tactical and strategic challenges before us with the goals of ensuring District 7 is a school district of choice in this region.
Brad Choate, KMOX News.
When film and TV productions look at locations in Southern Illinois, they may have a hard time finding enough experienced crew members to hire locally. Now, a new training program at SIU Edwardsville will help provide a workforce for the industry.
I just think that the opportunity to get hands-on experience is invaluable.
Teresa Pauley, broadcast engineer in the Mass Communications Department, says the program will prepare people for entry-level jobs such as production assistants. One of the main areas of training will be etiquette on set.
And this, I think, will give people a chance to see, okay, this is what each position's doing, how to do it, how to not talk when mics are open, how to watch your body language, how to not step in front of a camera, all sorts of things.
SIUE is getting state grant money for 3 cohorts of 10 to 14 people each. They'll receive a paid stipend during the 80-hour training. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Coming up in KMOX News this half hour.
The idea to rip out the highway lanes at the Arch is not a new one.
It really does create an impediment to get people to and from the Arch grounds in downtown St. Louis.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
And from the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, unemployment is inching upward in the Metro East, even as the region adds new jobs. The unemployment rate for the Illinois section of the St. Louis area rose to 4.2% in September, up 0.2 of a point from last year. 600 jobs were added, while cities like East St. Louis and Collinsville actually saw their jobless rates drop. The broader region saw employment drop in most counties, including Madison and St. Clair. On the hiring front, sectors like education and health services led the way.
It is now 6:08. We will check traffic and weather and then have more for you on the Arch grounds of the future. Stay with us on Total Information AM.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is live here in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. So right now, new customers can bet $5 and then get $300 in bonus bets. Whether you win or lose that initial $5 bet, you get those $300 bonus bets either direction. And it doesn't matter what you're choosing, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, you can bet it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. I've been on it since the app launched years ago. I just couldn't play in Missouri until now. Now I get to, and you can do. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on the excitement, because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel. Remember, 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
At Audien Hearing, our mission is simple:
To make better hearing affordable for everyone, this Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Hey, our Facebook feed is down if you're trying to catch us on there in terms of our video stream. Henry usually does, but he found another way in. He's on YouTube.
You can also
up on the
do
screen, you can see
Twitter.
It says, "Good morning, Debbie, Tom, and Roger. Let's go Blues." I'll be there tonight. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're traveling on westbound Highway 70, we had an incident pop up a few minutes ago, folks. They have the exit ramp from westbound 70 to Jennings Station closed. There's a rescue crash. They've had a couple of call-outs for it. In fact, the last call-out for it, they called it a mass casualty incident. Now, what that means is an MCI normally means multiple injuries involving a bus, and we're hearing it could possibly be a call-a-ride or a smaller Metro bus involved. It's on Jennings Station at the end of the westbound 70 exit ramp. That's why the exit ramp is closed. And from my vantage point, it looks like they're diverting southbound Jennings Station traffic onto westbound 70. So just be advised of that because of this rescue crash that they're dealing with there over in Jennings right now. So just be prepared. If you're southbound or normally travel southbound Jennings Station, it looks like you'll be diverted onto westbound 70. Northbound Jennings Station looks like they can get through past the incident so far. And other than that, the rest of the highways look great. There's just a little slowdown northbound 55, north of 67, and the right lane's approaching 270. Next update at 6:20 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
More sun than clouds today and mild this afternoon, high 53 to 57. After a clear evening, clouds will move in later tonight. The breeze will pick up, and there'll be a couple of late night showers around the low 47, although temperature will rise into the 50s before morning. Tomorrow will be breezy with rain and perhaps a thunderstorm in the morning and lingering clouds in the afternoon. Our morning high 56, temperature will fall to the 40s in the afternoon. Mostly sunny Friday, brisk and colder, high 40. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Mostly clear, 38 degrees in downtown St. Louis. And the weather is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. It's a win-win, so what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Planning for the future is what the Gateway Arch Park Foundation will be doing in 2026. Executive Director Ryan McClure says they'll be looking at expanding into East St. Louis. He says in the next 15 years or so, the Poplar Street Bridge and I-44 will need repairs and improvements. So
now is the time to study what should happen around that. What, can we be rethinking the I-44 corridor that separates the Arch and the riverfront from downtown St. Louis?
They'll be starting a study on that with East-West Gateway, the city, and MoDOT. They are also looking into improvements on the central riverfront.
I'm Michael Calhoun.
I think it's something to consider.
That was Mayor Slay all the way back in 2015 when a grassroots volunteer group called City to River was pushing the same idea, get rid of those depressed highway lanes that chop things up.
It really does create an impediment to get people to and from the Arch grounds in downtown St. Louis. I mean, that's part of the issue, and I know that's something that a lot of people are concerned about.
10 years ago, it was a time of excitement and optimism in and for the city. City to River supporter Andrew Faulkner, though, even then shared a dose of St. Louis realism.
We're hoping that this sort of inaugurates a new era in the city of St. Louis, where citizens who are concerned about issues come forward and hopefully begin to engage in a really productive dialogue with our elected officials.
Faulkner hoped that the then new Musial Bridge would alleviate the need for an expressway cutting off the Arch. MoDOT at the time said it would require a traffic flow study before considering the idea of ripping out highway lanes. City to River attempted to privately fund that. A compromise cap was eventually put on a couple of blocks of the depressed highway lanes.
Fresh funding is going toward the effort to prevent homelessness in Illinois. We get more from Andy Dane.
$2 million worth, courtesy of the Home Illinois program. State Senator Doris Turner.
We will see this funding have decades of support for our community, and that cannot be understated. It is so important.
Christine Haley, the state's chief homelessness officer, says the new funding will go directly to programs that not only provide housing, but mental health, substance abuse, and other types of services to those in need, specifically in the central Illinois area.
In July, President Trump signed an executive order targeting people experiencing homelessness. This executive order directs federal agencies to implement new policies and programs that move away from permanent housing and move towards institutionalized chronic homelessness.
Hey City fans, Yohan Dame here, excited for 2026, looking forward to seeing you all at the stadium.
That is Yohan Dame, the new head coach of St. Louis City SC. In soccer, they call that a manager. He is the manager of City, and his introductory press conference will be today at 1:15. KMOX will be all over that. We'll be over there checking it out at Energizer Park and looking forward to visiting with the coach on a regular basis here on KMOX. We carry, Y98 does, the games, the studio right down the hall from us, as St. Louis City SC appointed DeMay as head coach to lead the team as it enters its fourth MLS season. DeMay spent the last 3 years as an assistant coach with Columbus. He was a member of the Columbus Crew's winning MLS Cup team in 2023. They also won the Leagues Cup in 2024, and he worked on the staff at the LA Galaxy, served as interim head coach at FC Cincinnati on 2 occasions. He's done all that, and he's only 35 years old. The Frenchman brings nearly 2 decades of coaching experience between the professional and youth levels. Yes, you heard that right. DeMay began coaching at age 16 and held various youth coaching roles in France. He joined the CF Montreal Academy in 2014. Here's a statement from St. Louis City President and GM Diego Giuliani saying, through our conversations, it was clear that Yohan will bring uncompromising desire to win, a relentless and thorough approach to his work, and values and behaviors that align naturally with our club. We're confident Yohan is well positioned to follow the proven path of MLS experienced assistants who have gone on to succeed as head coaches. At the same time, we're incredibly grateful to David Critchley for his leadership as interim head coach and remain committed to his continued development within our club. Now, if you're counting, this is 4 seasons coming up here for Major League Soccer in St. Louis, and DeMay would be the 5th head coach. It started with a firing in the 2nd season and an interim coach, and then a firing in the 3rd season and an interim coach. So Yohan Dame takes over, and the hope is that Corey Ray, the new sporting director, has someone that can be in place for quite a while. Meantime, we'll be keeping an eye on the Cardinals. The Gas House Gang will run today at noon. Chris Ranji will join me, and we'll bring you the very latest. It's been a little quiet last couple of days on the Cardinals front. College basketball tonight on KMOX. The Billikens take on Bethune-Cookman. That one starts at 7 o'clock. SLU is a big favorite in that one. They are 9-1 on the season. They are the talk of the mid-majors right now, ranked 29th in the latest NCAA net rankings to start the season. The Blues, they are going in the opposite direction. They are near the bottom of the Western Conference right now, having just lost to Nashville. That moves them only a point in front of Nashville for last place in the Central Division. The Blues take on Winnipeg, a team that they could actually leapfrog tonight and move into 5th place, deciding, of course, what Chicago ends up doing, although they don't play today. So the Blues could end up, if they win today, they could jump over both Winnipeg and Chicago. That's how tight the standings are right now in the Central Division. They're a point out of last place. They could find themselves in 5th place by this evening. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is Todd Krentz with Krentz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we have helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. Selling your business is a major milestone. Before and after the sale, our role is to help cut through complexity and create a clear financial strategy focused on your legacy. We often coordinate with your attorney and CPA to ensure everything is aligned so your plan not only fits today, but continues working for you in the future. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services. Member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
St. Louis City SC is teaming up again with Enterprise to salute the people who make our city shine bright. The Exceptional Neighbor program presented by Enterprise is back back, and now you can help us find the class of 2026. Nominate your friend, coworker, or anyone who's going above and beyond for the STL region, and they could be featured on the pitch during halftime. Go to stlcitysc.com/exceptional neighbor now through January 9th and tell us who you think deserves to be an exceptional neighbor. Presented by Enterprise.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
621 Total Information AM continues. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Tom Ackerman and Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they're still dealing with this crash involving a small Colorado Metro bus, Debbie, on Jennings Station at Highway 70 at the end of the westbound 70 exit ramp. So the exit ramp westbound 70 to Jennings Station is currently closed, and it looks like southbound traffic is being diverted onto westbound 70. It's just hard for me to tell. There's not much of a backup, a short jam northbound. Traffic looks like it's getting through, so just be advised, but I'll try to keep tabs on it, but it's a fluid situation. Multiple injuries reported on that Metro bus, so they believe they said possibly 3 people were on the bus when it was involved in this crash. Other interstates are getting a little bit busier, but all in all, it's not bad. Northbound 55, you've got a little slowdown running through McNutt. There's some slow traffic from Bayless up through to about Loughborough. North 270 passing 64 is a little slow. More volume out west. Southbound 61 is bogged down from Highway P all the way down to 64 as well. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo at Hannaford. It's got twang.
Pretty easy forecast. Sunny, high 57 today. Clear tonight, low 47. Back into the 50s tomorrow morning. A period of rain, maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow morning. It's 38 right now.
622, and the buzz out of the Vatican is that Pope Leo may soon accept the resignation due to age of New York Archbishop Timothy Dolan, a St. Louis native.
Cardinal Dolan was appointed Archbishop of New York in 2009 by Pope Benedict. He submitted his resignation in February after reaching the mandatory bishop's retirement age of 75. It's up to the Pope when to accept it and appoint his successor, with that widely expected to come in the next few days. Strong rumors in the Big Apple right now point to an Illinois bishop as the leading candidate to replace Cardinal Dolan. He's Bishop Ron Hicks of Joliet. Bishop Hicks is 58 years old. He was born in Harvey, Illinois, and was installed as the Bishop of Joliet in 2020 by Pope Francis. No word from Cardinal Dolan, a former auxiliary bishop here, as to his retirement plans and will he return to his native St. Louis. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The return of Border Patrol agents to the Chicago area has caught the attention of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker.
They call it enforcement. We call it harassment.
After signing a public transit funding bill at Union Station, the governor acknowledged reports of renewed immigration enforcement efforts in Cicero, as well as Chicago's southwest side.
We don't know how long they'll stay. It appears that they're here for at least a couple of days, if not longer.
However, Governor Pritzker pointed to court orders on use of force and the actions of Illinois residents and said the state is ready for Commander Gregory Bovino and company.
Some of this is still in the court systems and running through appeals courts and up to the Supreme Court. So we don't know what the final results on some of these things will be, but we're much better off than we were back in August when this began.
Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Federal agents have used pepper spray to disperse a crowd in a heavily Somali neighborhood of Minneapolis. This was yesterday during an ID check amid the Trump administration crackdown on that community. We get more from CBS Minnesota reporter Connor White.
In a statement released late Tuesday, ICE says agents arrested 2 U.S. citizens for assaulting federal officers, describing people throwing snow and other objects, adding that agents conducted themselves with the utmost professionalism in their response and efforts to arrest 2 immigrants they say broke the law.
Investigators have released new enhanced videos of the person of interest in Saturday's deadly shooting at Brown University. This as one of the students who was shot last weekend is telling his story. CBS News correspondent Jared Hill has more from Providence.
It's a slightly clearer glimpse at the possible Brown University gunman. Authorities releasing enhanced surveillance video as the manhunt in Providence stretches into day 5.
We believe that he was actually casing out this area to commit the crime.
The person of interest said to be about 5'8", seen walking through the residential neighborhood near Brown hours before the attack. Freshman Jacob Spears was coming out of a study session when he was shot Saturday. He spoke with CBS News.
First, I was confused, but then I realized what was happening. I ran. He got me in the back, but adrenaline did me good, and I was able to get up and run.
As the search for clues continues, the community is seeking comfort. Hundreds packed a church at the heart of campus, honoring the 2 students killed and 9 injured in last weekend's mass shooting.
I keep thinking it could have been me. You know, I live a block away from the building where it happened, and I was in the building just a few days before.
A moment to rebuild hope with a sense of safety shattered. Jared Hill, CBS News, Providence, Rhode Island.
It's an award season indicator. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences revealing their top contenders for Oscar nominations. The Oscar shortlist is out. Here's CBS entertainment reporter Matt Wolf.
There are 12 categories total for the Oscars shortlist.
Let me in, man.
Ryan Coogler's supernatural thriller Sinners racking up mentions in 8 of them, including cinematography.
There's no going back.
Wicked for Good also making the cut with 8, 2 of them for original score and makeup.
Not one thing, it's another.
There's a new category this year for casting, one battle after another, an award season favorite making the cut. Best original song might be Oscar Gold for Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. Matt Wolf, CBS News.
The full Oscars nominations happen January 22nd. The ceremony is Sunday, March 15th. The host on ABC will be Conan O'Brien.
It's 6:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
While you're thinking this season of gifts for other people, how about a gift to yourself? Getting your eyes checked, because the health of your eyes is super important. It's one of those things you take your eyesight for granted until suddenly there's an issue. Well, catching those issues quickly and soon those are really important factors in preserving your eyesight. And there's no one better than the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. Yes, they will have you do the eye chart because that's important, but so much more. It's really a fascinating experience, the most thorough eye exam that you will probably ever have. The doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Busati, Andy Royer. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or find them online at youridoc.com. And they check for things like cataracts, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy. They do LASIK surgery. Yes, they also are treating my dry eye disease. It's Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Chris and Amy standing up for the Lou.
We had a texter suggest that we use some of the Rams money to buy a high-rise in Singapore and let it go
down. And load it up with asbestos and
just let
mold.
that sit there. See how they feel about it.
Let's not be vindictive.
No, let's be really vindictive. Screw Singapore if they're going to do this to us.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, taking receipts weekdays at 9 on KMOX.
It is 6:30, and right now it's clear, 38 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's not causing a problem on the highway, but the exit from westbound 70 to Jennings Station is still closed due to a rescue crash involving a small transit bus at the end of the ramp on Jennings Station. I do see a few cars trickling through southbound Jennings Station. Before there was no southbound traffic getting through, so it looks like they may be letting one lane through each way, but there is a little bit of a jam up southbound Jennings Station at that point. More volume on the highways. Northbound Highway 55, the right lanes, Butler Hill up through Mattis are slow. Union Road overpass up to River to Pears busy. Northbound 270 north of Big Bend most of the way up to 64. That's heavy. Southbound 61 midway between W and Highway P all the way down onto 64. That's pretty slow. 79 at North Main Street kind of busy. Downtown we have some slow traffic as well in spots. Westbound 64. The 70 split to 3rd Street and then across the Poplar, and it looks like we have an incident eastbound 44 at the Arch Park. It's jammed approaching the Poplar Street Bridge. We'll try to check on that one for you. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It should be pretty nice today, so enjoy it. More sun than clouds and a high that could reach 57 degrees. Then we could see a couple of showers late tonight, and you could wake up tomorrow morning to a thunderstorm. That's a possibility. And then a cloudy afternoon. Tomorrow's high 56, but then temperatures falling into the 40s. So by Friday, it'll be sunny, but a high near 40. We're near 40 right now. It's 38.
It's 6:32. The latest teen wounded in a St. Louis City shooting is said to be in stable condition at a hospital. The 13-year-old male was shot Tuesday night around 7:30 in the 800 block of Canaan. A police department spokesperson says while St. Louis has made progress in reducing juvenile-related shootings, nights like Tuesdays remind us there's still more work to do.
The increased presence of a new drug is causing St. Louis County to make Narcan more accessible. The drug is called carfentanil and is far more lethal compared to fentanyl, according to St. Louis County Health Director Dr. Kanika Cunningham.
It's 100 times more potent than fentanyl. And really what you see that it requires at least 3 to 4 doses of naloxone to respond to it.
The county is putting up more Narcan vending machines, saying carfentanil is being found more commonly in street drugs. Cunningham says they have seen 7 people in the county overdose from it compared to just 1 last year.
A confirmation vote is expected this week for the top federal law enforcement officer in eastern Missouri. Senator Eric Schmidt took to the Senate floor to support Tom Albus for the role, arguing that Albus is already making the streets safer in his interim capacity.
As interim U.S. attorney, Tom's already delivering results, going after violent crime and its root causes with everything he's got.
Schmidt pointed to recent indictments of child sex traffickers and organized retail crime rings as proof of Albus's effectiveness.
A former Missouri state trooper appeared in a Cape Girardeau federal courtroom yesterday to admit he used his badge to hunt for nude photos on women's phones. 40-year-old David McKnight pleaded guilty to 9 civil rights violations in all. He is scheduled to be sentenced in March next year.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We'll check your money minute next.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3 3-day kitchen and bath.
Rochelle talks about her experience with 3-day kitchen and bath.
It was a wonderful experience. I had heard about them on the radio. They come out to your house. They let you know what they do. They let you pick out your features, your colors, and then they come into your home the morning they start. They walk you through, this is what's going to happen, and you leave for a few days, and you come home, and it's done.
Was it easy?
It made it easy because you're not in the middle of a mess for 2 or 3 months. Left on a Tuesday morning, and it was done on a Thursday night. We came home Friday morning early because we were so excited.
What was your reaction when you first saw it?
Wow.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
6:35 and time for your money report from Bloomberg. It is sponsored for you by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Jared Kushner's Affinity Partners is exiting the takeover battle for Warner Brothers Discovery. The private equity firm withdrew its backing of Paramount Skydance's proposal to buy Warner Brothers, which the studio plans to reject. Jared Kushner is President Trump's son-in-law. Affinity says the dynamics have changed since it became involved in the process back in October. Checking in on your money this morning, stocks are heading for a higher open after yesterday's losses. Attention is turning to tomorrow's inflation numbers in the final full trading week of the year. S&P futures are up 21 points, Dow futures rising 95. And shares of homebuilder Lennar are falling in early trading. Affordability pressures and a weakening job market have pushed many buyers to the sidelines. Lennar's forecast for home orders missed Wall Street estimates. Lennar and other builders are facing increasing competition from the resale market, where listings have climbed. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertisements.
Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com during the Genesis Signature event. Based on GMA sales records for 2024. See dealer for details.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two. With fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
It's men's Billikens basketball tonight as they face Bethune-Cookman. Pregame 6:45, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 6:39. Millions of dollars are pledged for the recovery of the Syrian-Australian man who was shot multiple times while stopping one of the Bondi gunmen.
Like many Australians strolling at Bondi Beach on a long, warm summer evening, Syrian-Australian tobacco shop owner Ahmed Al-Ahmed just wanted a cup of coffee with a friend. Around him, a bloody massacre erupted as two gunmen targeted Jews during Hanukkah festivities at a park close to the shore. Soon Al-Ahmed was creeping, bent over between two parked cars before barreling directly toward one of the unsuspecting shooters. In footage that's been viewed millions of times around the world, the 44-year-old father can be seen tackling one of them, wresting the man's shotgun from his grip and turning it on the attacker. Al-Ahmed has become a national hero in Australia, with an online fundraiser for him raising millions of dollars. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
It is 6:40. Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. And we do have some traffic situations to tell you about. Roger Brand's got the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
There's still no change, Debbie. Westbound 70 at Jennings Station. This traffic reports the service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. The exit ramp is still closed to Jennings Station because of a serious crash involving a transit bus on Jennings Station at 70. So westbound 70 is a little slow in the area, but no lane restrictions on the interstate. Just the exit ramp itself is closed, and restrictions, especially southbound Jennings Station, add to the highway there. We'll stick with downtown. Eastbound 44 still backed up approaching the Poplar. It's a stalled tractor trailer near the north leg of the arch. Looks like they've got it over to the shoulder. The traffic's still backed up there. Westbound 64 slow from 3rd Street to the Poplar. Northbound 55 backed up Union Road overpass all the way up through Holly Hills. North 270 north of 55 toward Gravois and north of 44 all the way up to Ladou's busy. Southbound 61 south of W onto 64 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. A lot of heavy traffic there as well. At Penn Mutual, we believe that life insurance is the central part of a sound financial plan and that it can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And now AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg with another nice mild day in St. Louis.
And we're starting out in the upper 30s, Tom, with the prospect of going up into the 50s today, 53 to 57, with kind of a blend of sun and clouds throughout the day. And tonight starts out mainly clear, but it's not going to stay that way for very long. Clouds will race in overnight ahead of the next cold front, and there'll be some rain showers that'll break out in the pre-dawn hours. Temperatures by morning are probably north of 50 degrees across the area after bottoming out at 47. We start in the 50s tomorrow morning with rain. By lunchtime, most of that's moving off to the east. Stays mostly cloudy in the afternoon, but temperatures fall backward into the 40s. Looks like a cold day coming up on Friday with sunshine, the high only 40. We bounce back into the upper 50s with some sunshine Saturday, and then back down into the mid-40s on Sunday. Right now, it's 39 at St. Peter's and in Florissant, partly cloudy, 38 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:42. Metro Transit telling KMOX News a call-a-ride van that crashed on I-70 near Jennings Station Road did injure 3 passengers. The driver wasn't hurt, and that crash will not affect or cause delays for any other Metro passengers or services.
There is new information on the deaths of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, and the arrest of their son, Nick. He is now charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of his parents. CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti has more from Los Angeles.
New security video shows Nick Reiner in a striped shirt pacing inside a convenience store shortly before his arrest Sunday night. Outside the store, you see the LAPD arriving and arresting him. Police say he did not resist. Prosecutors allege the 32-year-old used a knife to fatally stab his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, in their Brentwood home. Nick Reiner is now facing 2 first-degree murder charges.
The 3 area Illinois Republican members of the House are asking President Trump to deny former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan's request for a pardon. Congressman Mike Bost says he, Mary Miller, and Darren LaHood feel granting Madigan clemency would reward his corruption and embolden other public officials to exploit their offices for personal gain. The Chicago Democrat was sentenced to 7.5 years in prison for conspiracy, wire fraud, and bribery.
The federal judge has denied a request to stop President Trump's construction of a new ballroom at the White House.
The National Trust for Historic Preservation sued the Trump administration last week
claiming no president can tear down parts of the White House or build a ballroom without a review. The judge ruled the nonprofit had not established enough irreparable harm for him to pause the construction. President Trump declared victory.
We just won the case. We got sued. We're donating a $400 million ballroom, and we got sued not to build it.
The judge did order the government to submit its construction plans by the end of the year. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Forbes is out with America's top private companies for 2025, and there are many that have remained consistently on the list year after year. Forbes statistics editor Andrea Murphy on which company took the top spot for a fifth year in a row.
Cargill, stays the top company. This is the 38th time it's been the number one company on our list. And Koch Industries is right there next to it, and it's perennial the runner-up.
She says a lot of these companies are family-owned and have no intention of changing that.
I know of a family-owned team here in St. Louis City SC. And they are run by a terrific group of people across the board, whether it's the Taylor family, Jim Kavanaugh, the great group of folks that are running St. Louis City SC will have a press conference today to announce Yohan DeMay as their next head coach. Corey Ray, their sporting director, said Yohan has all the attributes we were looking for in a manager and aligns closely with the vision and direction we have for this team. Invaluable experience working with some of the best teams and coaches in the league that I am sure will help him get the best out of our players. DeMay, a member of the Columbus Crew coaching staff. He was an assistant coach when they won the MLS Cup in 2023 and the Leagues Cup in 2024. He has also worked on the staffs at the LA Galaxy, and he was the interim head coach at FC Cincinnati on 2 occasions. Ray said on the field, he will build on the club's intense high work rate identity while adding a more proactive ball-focused dimension to our style, which will give us the best chance to be consistently competitive and entertain our fans. Yohan DeMay, he is only 35 years old. The city says he is known for preparation, tactical acumen, and player-centered approach, establishing himself as one of the most progressive young coaches in North America. The Frenchman bringing nearly 2 decades of coaching experience. He actually started coaching youth teams when he was 16 years old. He will be in attendance at 1:15 for a press conference at Energizer Park as they introduce the new coach of St. Louis City SC, Yohan DeMay. Jim Montgomery is the head coach of the St. Louis Blues. They are struggling right now. They have lost another game. That happened on Monday to the Nashville Predators 5-2. They'll give it another go tonight against the Winnipeg Jets, 7 o'clock face-off at Enterprise Center. Even though the Blues are under 500, if they win today, they will leapfrog 2 teams, Winnipeg and Chicago, and move into 5th place in the division if they can get it. Yesterday, they made an announcement that they claimed forward Jonathan Berggren from the Detroit Red Wings off waivers. Berggren dressed in 15 games for the Red Wings this season, recording 2 goals and 4 assists and 6 penalty minutes. St. Louis Billikens play tonight, 7 o'clock tip-off at Chaffetz Arena. They will take on Bethune-Cookman. SLU ranked 29th in the NCAA net rankings to start the week, and they are 9-1 on the season. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Billikens, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
1993.
There, when disaster hit.
June 27th, the Mississippi River rises above flood stage at St. Louis.
July 3rd, the Missouri River reaches flood stage for the second time, and levees are starting to buckle.
This is Nan Wyatt in the KMOX Flood Center. Sandbaggers are still needed this afternoon.
Good morning. I'm Daryl Lloyd. We have a live update now from the KMOX Jetcopter 1, where Steve Shoemaker is flying over West Alton right now, the scene of a number of levee breaks recently. Steve?
There's a farmhouse I'm looking at, and it's floating.
Those levees were never intended to protect against 49.6 feet.
We had the greatest natural disaster that's ever hit.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by the Polar Express at St. Louis Union Station. Get your tickets now at stlpolarexpressride.com.
It's not too late. The Polar Express is here through December 30th. Begin your journey at St. Louis Union Station Train Park, where you will meet the conductor inviting you to board the Polar Express train ride. Meet Santa Claus and his elves, interact with the Polar Express characters, and see St. Louis from 200 feet up and feel the magic of the Christmas story everybody loves. The Polar Express at Union Station. Book your trip at stlpolarexpressride.com. All aboard the Polar Express.
Winterfest is back for the 10th year in Keener Plaza, now through January 11th. Enjoy Winterfest traditions, including ice skating, s'mores, and igloos underneath 100,000 twinkling lights in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. Grab a bite or drink from downtown favorites and enjoy a family-friendly New Year's Eve fireworks spectacular. Winterfest, hosted by Gateway Arch Park Foundation, presented by Bank of America and Worldwide Technology. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:50. This is Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Tom Ackerman, and Roger Brandt in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, good news for folks on westbound 70 that need to get off at Jennings Station, Debbie. It looks like they've got that exit ramp reopened. This traffic reports service of 4 Pretty Paws Mobile Pet Spa, so no longer any problem there. We had a little bit of a slowdown earlier when it was shut down, but it looks like I said, things are getting back to normal there. We still have a little bit of a delay downtown, eastbound 44. 55 up toward the Poplar. That's due to an earlier stalled semi that was near the north leg of the arch, but they got it moved out of the traffic lanes. Westbound 64 is slow from the 70 split to the Poplar, and eastbound 64 east of 50 past Greenmount midway into 158. You've got roadwork delays. Northbound Highway 55, you've got a backup from just north of the Union Road overpass up to Loughborough. North 270 from Tesson Ferry up through Gravois is busy. Then 44 most of the way up to Ladue is heavy. South 270 south of Olive to Ladue is slow. Southbound 61 midway between W and P. Down onto 64 through Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Got a lot of volume there. Southbound 170, the Parkway down to 64 is a little heavier, and eastbound 70 is a little slow at A and right at TR Hughes. Since 2018, 4 Pretty Paws Mobile Pet Spa has provided stress-free one-on-one grooming right at your doorstep. Convenient, personal, and trusted. Book your holiday appointment at 4prettypaws.com. Now serving Southern Illinois. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Nice day for all those dogs out there. Take them for a little walk. It's going to be a high of 57 degrees with more sun than clouds. Clear this evening, increasing clouds, breezy later tonight. Couple of showers overnight, low 47. Then temperatures will rise into the 50s before morning. Breezy tomorrow, periods of rain. Perhaps a thunderstorm in the morning, says Joe Lundberg. Then mostly cloudy in the afternoon. A high of 56 tomorrow. Temperatures will fall into the upper 40s in the afternoon tomorrow. Currently, it's mostly clear, 38 downtown at the Arch.
It's 6:52. A big change coming to Illinois high school football. The IHSA governing body says a majority of member schools voted to expand the yearly football playoffs by 128 teams, adding 16 qualifiers to each class. The change also means no week 0 preseason scrimmage, and the regular season will move up a week.
Kansas City Chiefs jerseys are a popular item for under the tree, but according to new research, the number of counterfeit Chiefs jerseys being sought out jumped more than 53% since September. Those numbers were released by betting website Flash Picks.
Most people are looking for a bargain, with bootleg jerseys sometimes more than 86% cheaper than the official gear. But that means the Chiefs are missing out on more than $1.7 million. The NFL also warns too good to be true prices could result in someone stealing your bank information, downloading viruses, or getting a poor quality item.
Soccer fans from around the world will get an up-close view of wildflowers and other plants native to Missouri when they attend next year's FIFA World Cup matches in Kansas City. Department of Conservation Director Jason Summers says last month, nearly 100 volunteers planted 5,600 native plants on the grounds of the Truman Sports Complex, which should be on full display just in time for the World Cup.
These resilient native plants will bloom in spring, benefiting the environment and inspiring residents to embrace sustainable landscaping. So doing what we can to represent the state quite effectively to a bunch of new visitors.
There will also be interpretive signs posted explaining the initiative to soccer fans.
If it feels like you're always fighting with your kids over their phones, join the club. A new poll shows that half of parents say they get into tech arguments with their kids at least once a week. 6 and 10 say the arguments only last a few minutes, and almost half say it's always about screen time, but it doesn't end with phones. 3 and 10 parents say gaming is also a big problem with their kids.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your
Big happy birthday to Audrey Ackerman. She wears number 10 for Ladue JV basketball. She is 15 today. She's an incredible kid. I hope she's listening right now and getting ready for school and exams today. And we're going to have an amazing day. Happy birthday, Aud. Hope you have a great day. You share a birthday with former Blues coach Ken Hitchcock, the Hall of Famer. He is 74 today.
The birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Jeff Sterner from yesterday's kids, Cheryl Watkins Knott, the great leader of the YWCA of Metro St. Louis, and it's Lainey Klug's 16th birthday.
You know who else is celebrating a birthday today? Another former Blues coach, Craig Berube. Is celebrating a birthday today. He is 60. I know. Ken Hitchcock, Chief Craig Berube, and Audrey Ackerman. And guess where Audrey's going tonight? To the Blues game at 6:55.
This is the best birthday ever.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code KMOX. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
We're coming up on Christmas very quickly here. Christmas has been and always has been a religious holiday for a lot of people throughout the world. And if not religious, just a celebration for family and friends. It's also the time of year where while you might be enjoying or you like the holidays, there's people that are suffering, which this time of year is a really, really hard time of year for them. There's people that are suffering this Christmas because this could be their first Christmas without their loved one, husband, wife, mother, father, child, or their second, third, fourth, 10th, 12th Christmas. So for every one of us that believe in God, and we do pray, remember that in your prayers daily, and hopefully that helps and makes a difference and makes it a little bit better in somebody's life that is suffering right now. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. God bless.
Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, busy on the highways, but nothing terrible out there right now, Tom. So if you're heading out the door, things are in good shape. Just the usual slowdowns like northbound 270 or bogged down. North of 55 up through Gravois, and then about Doherty Ferry up to Ladou's pretty busy. South 270 between Alva and Ladue doesn't look all that bad. A lot of volume on southbound 61, a little bit better than it was, but there's still delays. It bunches up in a few spots from Highway P down to 64, and it remains heavy on 64 up to about Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Southbound 170, Brentwood to 64, that's slow. Eastbound Highway 70, East Decay through TR Hughes, a little bit of volume there, but after that, you're good to go all the way into the city. Northbound 55, you've got the usual delays up north of Bayless up to about Loughborough. Westbound 64 downtown from 3rd Street to the Poplar Street Bridge is heavy. Eastbound 44, past the poplars thinned out. They cleared that stalled semi around the arch ground, so that's good news. And you have roadwork delays eastbound 64 east of 50th past Greenmount Road. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Wednesday, December 17th. I'm Debbie Monterrey. A Metro Call-A-Ride van crashes in Jennings, the latest after CBS News.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. More sun than clouds today, high 53 to 57.
St. Louis County Council adopts a budget.
Motion carries. Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 233. Is adopted.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. In sports, the local MLS team has a new head coach.
Hey, City fans, UNMA here. Excited for 2026. Looking forward to seeing you all at the stadium.
Yohan DeMay. We will hear more about him today. A 1:15 press conference at Energizer Park. The Gas House Gang. Lots of baseball coverage today at noon. Sports at 7:15.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition, sponsored by CVS Health.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Rob Reiner's 32-year-old son, Nick, could make his first court appearance today after he was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in his parents' death. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman.
These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty.
We're getting new details on the gruesome crime scene. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti reports from Los Angeles.
The New York Times reports a massage therapist arrived at the Reiner home on Sunday. When nobody came to the gate, she called the couple's daughter, Romy, who arrived and found her father's body. The day before the murders, Rob and Nick Reiner got into an argument at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party.
Reports say Nick was snubbed by Bill Hader when he tried to interrupt the comedian's conversation with someone else. President Trump has ordered a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. CBS's Charlie D'Agata is in Washington.
There's a lot we don't know about this plan, when it's going to be implemented, how many oil tankers might be involved. But he says it won't be lifted until, quote, our oil, land, and any other assets are returned to the United States, making it clear this is more than just about drug trafficking.
A federal judge has denied a request to stop the president's big construction project at the White House.
The National Trust for Historic Preservation sued the Trump administration last week, claiming no president can tear down parts of the White House or build a ballroom without a review. The judge ruled the nonprofit had not established enough irreparable harm for him to pause the construction. President Trump declared victory.
We just won the case. We get sued. We're donating a $400 million ballroom, and we got sued not to build it.
The judge did order the government to submit its construction plans by the end of the year. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Another massive storm is pounding the Pacific Northwest with rain. It's triggering a second week of intense flooding. CBS meteorologist Rob Marciano.
This is a high moisture content event, so flood watches remain up. Not only that, but this is a slightly cooler event, so flood watches and warnings, and also blizzard warnings up in some of the mountains, including the Olympics. And that's pretty rare. So very, very hard travel here.
The top private company of 2025, Forbes editor Andrea Murphy.
Cargill is an agribusiness company. They're based out of Minnesota. They are involved in all sorts of businesses related to our food. They are a huge meat processor. They process about 7 million cattle a year for the beef industry.
The 38th time in 40 years, Cargill's come in at number 1. Among newcomers, OpenAI. This is CBS News.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie, the best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
It is 7:04, and we've got some clouds in downtown St. Louis. It's 37 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Metro Transit tells KMOX News a call-a-ride van crash on I-70 near the Jennings Station Road ramp earlier this morning injured 3 passengers. The driver was not hurt. A spokesperson says the crash will not affect or cause delays for any other Metro passengers or services.
The St. Louis County Council adopting a fiscal year 2026 budget yesterday with cuts aimed at filling an $81 million gap. Councilman Mark Harder telling our partners at Fox 2 the plan eliminates 300 open positions in the county, but no layoffs.
People would have lost their jobs. So we choose not to do that at this point. We're going to see if we can get by without doing that, but everything's always on the table in the years to come.
The budget also freezes out-of-town travel for the upcoming year.
I'm Sean Malone. Before the St. Louis County Council voted to slash tens of millions of dollars from the budget, County Executive Sam Page said his office had not seen a proposal.
There was a description of the budget floating around, the budget cuts, and there is a description of the budget bills, but we really need to read them before we can have an opinion.
Page floated a potential veto of the budget, despite questions of whether he can.
There's a lot of rhetoric in politics, but yeah, if the budget needs to be vetoed, I'll veto it.
Even if he can and does, the budget passed with a veto-proof majority.
The latest teen wounded in a St. Louis City shooting is said to be in stable condition at a hospital. The 13-year-old was shot Tuesday night around 7:30 in the 800 block of Canaan. A police department spokesperson says while St. Louis has made progress in reducing juvenile-related shootings, nights like Tuesdays remind us there's still more work to be done.
The state of Missouri is attempting to find assets to take as part of a $24 billion judgment involving Chinese nationals in COVID-19. Attorney General Catherine Hanaway discussed the matter on KFTK's Mark Cox Show.
We're not limited to Missouri. Any assets they have in the United States. And so some people have said to me, actually quite a few, why don't you go get the pandas at the National Zoo? I don't know how I'd resell the pandas.
Hanaway said there's a $50 billion countersuit from China against Missouri and Attorney General's officers past and present. She says some social media attacks have allegedly been levied against her office from more than 100 fake accounts in China.
Governor Mike Kehoe ordering flags to fly at half-staff today to honor a St. Charles County paramedic who died in the line of duty. Lieutenant Sarah McCarthy passed away last week after suffering a medical emergency during her shift at Station 12 in St. Peters. The governor's order applies to all government buildings in St. Charles County and every EMS station across the state from sunrise to sunset.
The Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. The future of Cleveland High School is unclear. The massive school in Dutchtown opened in 1915, closed in 2006. Yesterday, the Land Clearance for Redevelopment Authority officially rescinded a 2023 resolution designating Goodco LLC as the company to redevelop the historic property. Goodco is owned by Chris Goodson, whose Fields Foods location is all shut down 2 years ago amid lawsuits. The LCRA is now in the process of acquiring the property and will issue a request for proposal for redevelopment, according to the Business Journal.
It is 7:08. We'll take a break and check the roadways, and then we'll talk about supplying local crews for TV and film production. Stay with us on KMOX.
St. Louis City SC is teaming up again with Enterprise to salute the people who make our city shine bright. The Exceptional Neighbor program presented by Enterprise is back, and now you can help us find the class of 2026. Nominate your friend, coworker, or anyone who's going above and beyond for the STL region, and they could be featured on the pitch during halftime. Go to stlcitysc.com/exceptional neighbor now through January 9th and tell us who you think deserves to be an exceptional neighbor. Presented by Enterprise.
Christmas has arrived at Chesterfield Valley Nursery with hundreds of Christmas trees and our winter greens. Visit our garden center for your live holiday decor, from garland to poinsettias to custom live wreaths made right here at Chesterfield Valley Nursery. Open to the public, everyone is welcome. Stop by 16825 North Outer 40 Road in Chesterfield, directly past the popular entertainment district. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com.
No one remembers the tie, the sweater, or the pair of socks they received last year for the holidays, but they will remember the year they learned how to play the piano. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music. And every year in January, Lacefield Music opens their exciting and innovative 8-week adult piano classes to the public for the incredible price of only $29.99 for all 8 weeks. This class is usually $100, but in January, the classes will be $29.99 for all 8 weeks. With Lacefield Music's adult piano classes, you will learn how to read music, play your favorite songs, and you will play with both your right and your left hand the very first week. This year, instead of buying your loved one more things, buy them an experience and fulfill the dream of learning to play the piano. Class sizes are limited and are filling fast, so call 636-778-2070 for more information, or go to lacefieldmusic.com. That's lacefieldmusic.com to sign up.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's check in with Roger Brand in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we got a little trouble on 64 right now. We have a crash westbound 64 just immediately west of Hampton. Looks like they have the left lane shut down, so traffic's jammed at the Science Center on westbound 64 right now. Just be prepared for that. If you're on eastbound 64, well, coming off 61, southbound 61 starts to bog down at Highway P. It's heavy onto 64 up to about 364, but after that, you're good to go. Eastbound Highway 70, a little slow at TR Hughes. Some heavier traffic, 94 to the Blanchette Bridge. Northbound 270, north of 55, up to about the Sappington Road overpass, and north of Big Bend up to Ladue. That's kind of busy. Northbound 55, you've got the usual slow traffic from the Union Road overpass up to about River to Pear. Then you're good to go. On the Illinois side, westbound 64, 3rd Street to the Poplar, that's pretty slow. And, of course, you have a roadwork backup on eastbound 64 from just east of 50 through Greenmount, but it remains slow most of the way into 158 from there. Next update at 7:20 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
More sun than clouds today and mild this afternoon, high 53 to 57. After a clear evening, clouds will move in later tonight. The breeze will pick up. There'll be a couple of late night showers around the low 47, although temperature will rise into the 50s before morning. Tomorrow will be breezy with rain and perhaps a thunderstorm in the morning, and lingering clouds in the afternoon. Our morning high 56. Temperature will fall to the 40s in the afternoon. Mostly sunny Friday, brisk and colder, high 40. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, downtown, we've got some clouds and 37 degrees.
It's 7:12. The Edwardsville School Board voted 7-0 Monday night to approve a separation agreement with previous school superintendent Patrick Shelton. Dr. Shelton was suspended with pay in late September. School Board President Bob Patey didn't discuss what exactly took place, calling it a personnel matter.
I would like to take this opportunity to publicly acknowledge the board members' concerns with not being able to comment on personnel issues while wanting to provide transparency.
Patey said the board's actions can be reviewed through a Freedom of Information request.
A Metro East University is helping staff some film and television productions.
Southern Illinois University Edwardsville's Department of Mass Communications has received a grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity to launch a workforce training program.
The training will involve both the film and television aspects of it. So from production aspect to the basic etiquettes on sets.
Dr. Suman Mishra is professor and chair of the department. She says the training is for entry-level positions such as production assistants. Those are roles that productions typically hire on location. The university has funding for 3 cohorts of 10 to 14 participants each. They'll receive a $1,200 stipend during the 80 hours of training. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
What can you do to protect yourself in an active shooter situation? That's a question on the mind of many Missouri students and staff after the weekend shooting at Brown. Nicholas Teetsort, a communications consultant for Mizzou, tells Missouri Net planning starts long before an incident happens.
There's a video on the MUPD's website for citizens' response to active threats, and it talks about those principles of run, hide, fight, making sure you know your surroundings and where the exits are, where the fire extinguishers and AEDs are.
Teetsort says MUPD undergoes annual training on active threat protocols to stay prepared.
A lot of Vatican rumors swirling around a new archbishop to lead the New York Archdiocese, as St. Louis native and current New York Archbishop Cardinal Timothy Dolan has surpassed the official retirement age of 75.
Cardinal Dolan was appointed Archbishop of New York in 2009 by Pope Benedict. He submitted his resignation in February after reaching the mandatory bishop's retirement age of 75. It's up to the Pope when to accept it and appoint his successor, with that widely expected to come in the next few days. Strong rumors in the Big Apple right now point to an Illinois bishop as the leading candidate to replace Cardinal Dolan. He's Bishop Ron Hicks of Joliet. Bishop Hicks is 58 years old. He was born in Harvey, Illinois, and was installed as the Bishop of Joliet in 2020 by Pope Francis. No word from Cardinal Dolan, a former auxiliary bishop here, as to his retirement plans, and will he return to his native St. Louis? Cardinal Dolan is, of course, a huge baseball Cardinals fan, while Pope Leo, a Chicago native, loves the White Sox. Bishop Hicks, meanwhile, says he's a true blue Cubs fan. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The Gas House Gang on KMOX today to talk some baseball at noon. 1:15, it's Yohan DeMay, the press conference over at Energizer Park to introduce the new head coach of St. Louis City SC. Then we get into two events tonight in the city of St. Louis. Let's start with the Blues hosting the Winnipeg Jets, 7 o'clock faceoff at Enterprise Center. The Blues had their captain, Braden Shen, with them yesterday. Here's an update from Jim Montgomery.
Yeah, maintenance day for him.
A maintenance day as he took the day off.
With Stenberg, do you see him going right in?
Possibly. I thought he had a pretty good day today on the ice. Again, we put lines together with Shen coming back. It's something we'll figure out more tomorrow morning.
Talking about Otto Stenberg, one of their young prospects there, as they're still trying to piece this together, this Blues team.
I see a smart two-way player who, because of his brains and his positional skill and his stick positioning, that he can be a complementary guy, play as high up in the lineup, and also be someone you can rely on to check. That's the way his brain has popped out to me in camp. I thought he had a solid camp. I thought in certain games he really showed what he's going to be able to develop into, which is a guy that, as a coaching staff, that you can rely on in the penalty kill, power play, all situational guy. It just depends on how he continues to mature his game as to what all the situations he ends up playing in.
The Blues also picked up a forward off waivers from the Red Wings, Jonathan Berggren, as they continue to deal with injuries. Dylan Holloway, the latest. They're dealing with trying to figure out the right mix of players and trying to get themselves out of the basement of the Central Division. They're only a point above last place Nashville, but interestingly, if they win tonight against Winnipeg, they will leap over Winnipeg and Chicago into fifth place in the Central Division coming out of the Western Conference. Still a ways away from getting back into the playoff race. Meantime, over at Chaffetz Arena, it will be the St. Louis Billikens. They play tonight against Bethune-Cookman. SLU hosting Bethune-Cookman. Game time against the Wildcats is 7 p.m., but it's the second game of a doubleheader. The SLU women play today at 4 o'clock against Jacksonville State, and men's basketball ticket holders can show their ticket for the women's game and sit in GA seating. So you get two games for the price of one today if you're a St. Louis Billikens fan. And on top of that, today is the annual teddy bear toss. That's always popular. It is all fans encouraged to bring a new stuffed animal to Chaffetz Arena. At halftime, fans will be prompted to throw their stuffed animals onto the court. All items collected tonight will be donated to Youth in Need, and fans who bring a stuffed animal can get a free GA ticket to the men's game. I'm going to repeat that for you. If you bring a stuffed animal today to Chaffetz Arena, you get a free GA ticket to the men's game. Visit the Billiken ticket office at Gate B to pick up your free ticket. They want to jam people in there to see this team. At 9-1, the Billikens are off to the best start to a season in 14 years. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie, the best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
What a beautiful day today. This would be a great day to test drive a new vehicle. And that vehicle is Genesis. Have you seen Genesis vehicles out on the road? Man, they look good. Have you ever been inside one? They look even better inside, if you can believe that. Test drive a Genesis today at Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. And don't wait. Now is the time to visit it. They call it the signature event at Genesis of St. Charles. They want your trade. They're willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase. No games, no gimmicks, just upfront pricing when you unlock the e-price today at Genesis of St. Charles. That's genesisofstcharles.com. You can unlock the e-price online and bam, there's your price. Every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet vehicle pickup, delivery, loaner vehicle, no additional costs. They treat you right there. 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway, genesisofstcharles.com.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's time to check your ride into work with Roger Brand. It's 7:20, and he's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got this crash in the left lane, Debbie. Westbound 64 just immediately west of Hampton. Traffic's jammed back through Kings Highway now on westbound Highway 64. Not bothering eastbound 64 at that point. Southbound 61 is slow south of P onto eastbound 64, almost all the way to 364, at least up to the boulevard. And then there's a slowdown Clarkson into about Timberlake, but after that, it's not so bad. Northbound 270 backs up briefly at the merge on with 55. It remains slow up through Gravois and then Big Bend all the way up to Ladue. South 270, though, coming down to Ladue looks fine. Northbound 55 itself, the right lanes are bogged down pretty close to Butler Hill. Union Road overpass up to River to Perry. You've got delays. Northbound Telegraph from south of Baumgartner, approaching Baumgartner up to Pottle. Looks pretty busy right now. If you're on the eastbound Highway 70 run, you've got some heavy traffic approaching K to TR Hughes, west of 94 through the Blanchette Bridge. Downtown westbound 64 from Ball Avenue to the Poplars, heavy 5570 starting to slow down at 203, and eastbound 64 east of 50 past Greenmount. You've got a roadwork backup. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather's going to be nice today. Sunny, high 57 degrees, a low tonight that actually rises into the 50s before morning, a low of 47. Then we're back into the 50s when we get up tomorrow morning. But then we're going to see periods of rain, maybe even a thunderstorm tomorrow morning. Then mostly cloudy in the afternoon and a high of 56. Then we fall into the 40s and we're cold on Friday with sun and a high near 40. It's just a little roller coaster ride that we're on, but a nice day today, that's for sure. As we look right now at a mostly clear sky, we have some clouds hanging around downtown St. Louis. It's 36 degrees. Weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk and sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It is 7:23. The news continues. Expanding into East St. Louis. That's just one of the items on the planning docket for the Gateway Arch Park Foundation. Executive Director Ryan McClure says they've had that authority to do it since the late 90s.
One of the things that we know as part of City Arch River that we still need to work on is activating the Central Riverfront to really drive a plan forward that provides more amenities and more activation on the Central Riverfront in St. Louis.
And the Poplar Street Bridge and I-44 corridor are going to need fixes and improvements in the next 15 years, so they'll begin studying what should happen around that.
I'm Michael Calhoun. 10 years ago, I did a series of stories about a group dubbed City to River, which pushed to tear out the highway depressed lanes completely as part of the big Arch Grounds redo. Andrew Faulkner explained to me that downtown and the river are actually really, really close, even though infrastructure there makes it seem like a slog.
Conceivably, you could actually picnic on the Arch Grounds and walk back to the stadium. At this point, you'd have to walk so far out of your way that most people wouldn't even try to accomplish that.
Back in 2015, MoDOT said it had to see a traffic flow study before considering the idea. City to River attempted to privately fund it.
I think it's certainly something to consider.
And even Mayor Slay at the time was thinking about this.
It all depends upon, what the alternatives are and finding the resources. If they find that it's a good thing to do, find the resources to make it happen.
The Arch Grounds redesign did wind up putting a cap on a couple of blocks of the depressed highway, but the stadium to the south and Laclede's Landing to the north are still divided to this day by massive highway walls and columns.
Another massive storm is pummeling the Pacific Northwest with rain causing intense flooding for the second straight week. CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano.
The historic flooding has washed away parts of Highway 2, connecting the Seattle area to the Cascade Mountains. Officials say it could be closed for months.
And it's not a 1 or 2 day event, right? We're in for the long haul.
There is more rain to come, but now the wind has been an issue the past couple of hours. Over 500,000 people now are without power in Oregon and Washington from those high winds.
If you've been feeling a little down this time of year, you're not alone, and there are some ways to improve your mood.
There are several reasons why depression can set in, and for some of us, it can be more severe. Dr. Ioana Pal is a clinical psychologist at Miller Children's and Women's Hospital in Long Beach. She says even in sunny SoCal, you could be affected by what's called SAD, or seasonal affective disorder.
I think it's being seen earlier or recognized earlier because it can be associated with even the holidays. So in like the Nordic countries, Alaska, when you have a lot more darkness.
Winter blues is a milder form of SAD with temporary dips in mood. She says depression can be triggered by being inside a lot, which is magnified when we leave work and it's dark outside.
We're not getting enough vitamin D. We're not getting enough exposure to light, which affects our mood, when we want to go to bed, how late we sleep, but most importantly, the quality of our sleep.
Dr. Powell says symptoms common to both include sadness, fatigue, and trouble getting to sleep. She adds staying on a regular sleep schedule and some light therapy too can help. I'm Larry Perrell.
Elderly people who have both physical frailty and depression are 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with dementia, correspondent Michael George.
Research published in the journal General Psychiatry looked at people with an average age of 64 and found while both frailty and depression are linked to dementia, having both conditions drastically raise the risk. 57 million people are living with dementia worldwide, and that number is expected to triple by 2050.
This year, it was Olivia and Noah. What will future tiny humans be named in 2026? Baby name experts weighed in, and they predict that Sienna and Romy will be popular next year for girls. For boys, Callum and Cosmo. Yeah, like the...
Come on.
Gen Z parents didn't grow up watching Seinfeld like their parents did, I guess. Also, experts say that old-timey names are making a comeback.
Come on. I mean,
Cosmo.
If I hear of one baby named Cosmo, I will personally give you $5.
I know a lot of Olivias and Noahs, that's for sure.
That is definitely for
And I'm
sure.
seeing more Mabels and Millicents and old-fashioned names.
Yeah, those are old-timey names for sure. You and I have the Gen X names, Tom and Debbie, right?
Oh,
those
yeah.
are all American names right there.
You really don't run into many young people named Debbie.
No. It's 7:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
FanDuel.com. Listen up, Missouri. If you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is rolling in the Show Me State, and they are kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether you're betting football or basketball or hockey or whatever it is, you can do it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Download the FanDuel app today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement, because it has been a lot of fun since it's been live and rolling in the state of Missouri. It is time to play your game with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
It is 7:30, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we've got some sun, some clouds, and 37 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. We have various backups. Roger Brand, what's the latest? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, Tom, we still got this crash on westbound 64 west of Hampton. Left lane still shut down. It's jammed between Boyle and Kings Highway on westbound 64 up to that point. If you're on eastbound Highway 64 coming off 61, the southbound 61 backup begins about midway between P and Wentzville Parkway onto 64. Then it's slow all the way to 364 from Annie Guns almost all the way into Timberlake. There's a little backup through Lindbergh. Looks like there may have been an incident just east of Lindbergh there. If you're taking eastbound 70 into work, there's slow traffic coming through Wentzville Parkway to 64, east of Bryan Road to T.R. Hughes, Zumbell through 94, and east of the Blanchette Bridge in Nurse City's a little crowded. South 270 still not bad, just a little slow approaching Ladue, no big deal. North 270 slow as you ramp on from 55 up to Gravois and then 44 all the way up to Ladue. Northbound 55, the right lane's bogged down approaching Butler Hill. All lanes are backed up Union Road up to River to Pear. Westbound 64 from the 70 split, really 55-70 from Exchange to the Poplar, busy in spots. And eastbound 64, you have that roadwork back up east of 50 past Greenmount. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's actually going to be really nice today. We could hit 57 degrees with more sun than clouds. And then we could see a couple of showers later tonight. And by morning, maybe a December thunderstorm to start off the day. The rest of tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with a high of 56, but then falling into the 40s by the afternoon. It's 37 now.
A St. Louis City firefighter was checked out by paramedics, then returned to duty overnight after a floor collapse caused a fall into a basement. Fire Captain Garen Mosby told Fox 2.
Just kind of underscores the challenges and the dangers in fighting fires
and then in vacant building fires as well. Thankfully, our firefighters fine.
That fire happened in the 4900 block of Arlington.
St. Louis County deploying more Narcan vending machines to combat a new drug.
Carfentanil, which compared to regular fentanyl is 100 times more potent. Dr. Kanika Cunningham, the St. Louis County Health Director, says this requires more Narcan when treating a carfentanil overdose.
3 to 4 doses of naloxone for reversal compared to 1 to 2 doses for fentanyl. This is why access to naloxone is more critical than ever.
She says law enforcement agencies across the country, not just in St. Louis County, are seeing an increase in carfentanil found in street drugs. In Clayton, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Illinois residents who buy health insurance on the Affordable Care Act marketplace now have until December 31st to select a plan for coverage that takes effect January 1st. Capital News Illinois reports the announcement came Tuesday from Get Covered Illinois, the state-run ACA marketplace.
They are extending the deadline to give consumers more time to get help selecting a plan for next year. Most consumers will see substantial price increases next year because enhanced federal subsidies that were enacted during the COVID pandemic are expiring at the end of this year.
East St. Louis residents can get a clean start on their holiday chores this week. Molina Healthcare teaming up with Empire Laundry to host a free laundry day this Thursday. Families can wash and dry up to 3 loads at no cost with both detergent and dryer sheets provided. The event runs from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the laundromat on State Street, with the last load accepted at 7 p.m.
It is 7:34, and the news is sponsored for you by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It is time to take a break, but when we come back, we'll get you a look at traffic and weather in about 5 minutes. It's Total Information AM.
Hey guys, it's Dave asking you to join me, the entire crew, and a bunch of celebrity guests and tons of your fellow DJS listeners this Friday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at 501 Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. That's Hardee's in St. Peters. We will be there from 1 to 5 collecting cash, selling some beanies, maybe selling some boxes of chocolate. It's a lot of fun. It's great for the kids. We will see you this Friday, 1 to 5, 501 Mid-Rivers Mall Drive, Hardee's.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Time for your Money Minute. It's sponsored by UC Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Spirit Airlines is said to be eyeing a merger with rival Frontier. Sources tell us the carriers are in talks to combine. A merger between the airlines would mark a significant step for Spirit, which filed its second bankruptcy in less than a year in August. The basic economy fares and strong networks of major carriers such as United have made it harder for traditional discounters to compete. It would become the 5th largest airline in the U.S. Turning to today's trade, stock futures are edging higher this morning. The main action today is in oil, with crude prices bouncing after President Trump ordered a blockade of sanctioned tankers going into and leaving Venezuela. Oil is trading at $56 a barrel. And arts and crafts retailer Michaels has made a big rebound this year when it was weighed down by the prospect of high tariffs. The company says earnings grew by 40% in the most recent quarter. Michaels says it saw strong demand on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
Hey, if you are going to sell a home, what you want to do is sell it quickly and for the most money. And if you have to sell it at this time of year, you might be a little nervous. Well, just call Gloria Lou. Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She guarantees that she will sell your home. Now, go ahead and call other agents and do your interviews and your due diligence, but I don't think you're going to find other agents who are going to guarantee in writing to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or Gloria is going to buy it herself. So you know your home is sold. And that is a great relief, because as if the holidays aren't stressful enough, if you're selling a home during the holidays, that's stressful too. Just give Gloria a call at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or you can find her online right now at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Ask her for her guaranteed sale program report. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. She is Gloria Lou of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for Your Retirement Highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Get ready for Thursday Night Football as the Rams face the Seahawks.
Siteman Cancer Center, game time 6:30. Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Rams, the Seahawks, Thursday Night Football on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
740, Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, the first leg of the funeral procession for a fallen firefighter, Sarah McCarthy, is starting out now. Right now, they have restrictions on Manchester, and northbound 141 at Manchester is closed currently, just temporarily, so the funeral procession can make their way. The first leg goes up 141 to 370 out into St. Charles County, so that is underway as we speak. They're still working with this crash. This traffic report serves the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Westbound 64 west of Hampton, left lane closed is jammed at Kings Highway. Eastbound 64 coming off 61. There's a slow traffic south of P onto 64 up through the boulevard from Boone's Crossing all the way to Timberlake. And a couple of spots briefly past Lindbergh and at the Interbelt. South 270, 364 to Ladou's busy. North 270, pretty much from 55 all the way up to Ladue. You've got heavy traffic. Eastbound 70, Wenthrop Parkway into 64. Lake St. Louis through Bryan Road, K to TR Hughes. From almost Zumbel into 270, it's busy. Northbound 55 Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. Westbound 64 Baugh to the Poplar is slow. At Penn Mutual, life insurance is a central part of a sound financial plan, and that can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. Next update at 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is 7:42, and looking out the window right now, I do see some clouds, but lots of sunshine as well. Let's get the latest from Joe Lundberg, our AccuWeather meteorologist.
We'll call it partly sunny right now at this early hour of the day, Debbie, and we'll see a decent amount of sunshine throughout the day, and it means another mild afternoon. Could get used to this. The high 53 to 57. We start out clear this evening, but it's not going to stay that way for very long. The next front approaches, clouds move in, breeze picks up, and it could be a late night shower or two with a low of 47 early. By morning, I think everybody's above 50. Tomorrow, a breezy day, start to finish. We'll have rain in the morning and maybe a thunderstorm, but in the afternoon, I think things dry out. Mostly cloudy skies. We start with a high of 56 in the morning, and temperatures start to fall back into the upper 40s. Friday, plenty of sunshine, but colder with a high only 40. Partly sunny, noticeably warmer Saturday up to 58. Some sunshine and colder again Sunday with a high in the mid-40s. Right now, it's 38 at St. Peter's, 37 in Florissant, partly sunny, and 39 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Joe, thank you. It's 7:43, sports in 2 minutes. The Gateway Arch Park Foundation has checked some major projects off its list over the last few years. But what about more to do on the river? We asked Executive Director Ryan McClure.
All of this works together. One of the things that we know as part of City Arch River that we still need to work on as a partnership, the City of St. Louis, Gateway Arch Park Foundation, and Great Rivers Greenway, is activating the Central Riverfront. It is important to note that when you're comparing us to other cities, the Mississippi River is a different animal altogether in terms of its volatility, but it does not mean that we can't do more, and we should do more. So we're working with the city, with Great Rivers Greenway, stakeholders on the landing and Gateway South to really drive a plan forward that provides more amenities and more activation on the Central Riverfront in St. Louis.
Ryan McClure, he says they are also embarking on a study of the Poplar Street Bridge and Highway Corridor and the possibility of expanding to East St. Louis, something they've had the authority to do since the 90s. I always wondered what the city would look like if you lived on the other side of the river. What a view that is.
It's the best view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
And that giant geyser that was across the river,
Totally.
that it doesn't work anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
A lot of people take photos over there. Some people take wedding
Yeah.
photos over there.
There's a park over there with a tower that gives you the best view.
Had a great experience last night. I wanted to mention this before sports. Esca, the restaurant in the Del Mar Maker District, Ben Paremba's absolute gem that I believe the Post-Dispatch had as its number one best new restaurant for 2024, damaged by the tornado on May 16th. What a comeback they have made. That place is spectacular inside. The menu is great. The service is great. And he should be very proud of what he has put together there. Esca is top notch. I highly recommend that.
I actually am going to his other place across the street, his breakfast lunch place, Florentin.
Nice.
Later today for lunch. Yeah, there's still a lot of damage on that stretch, but those restaurants have reopened and would appreciate your business.
Maybe City should take Yohan DeMay over there. He's the new coach for St. Louis City SC. He will be introduced today in a press conference at Energizer Park. DeMay is only 35 years old, but he's been coaching for 2 decades. That's right. He started out as a coach when he was 16 years old. He was coaching youth soccer. He's a Frenchman. He is someone that is highly thought of, and certainly City has great hopes for him. Corey Ray, the new sporting director, says Yohan has all the attributes we were looking for in a manager and aligns closely with the vision and direction we have for this team. He has invaluable experience working with some of the best teams and coaches in the league that I am sure will help him get the best out of our players. Where has he been the last 3 years as an assistant coach at the Columbus Crew? Was a member of the Crew's winning MLS Cup team in 2023 and Leagues Cup team in 2024. He also worked on the coaching staff at LA Galaxy and served as interim head coach at FC Cincinnati on 2 occasions. So he has a lot of experience. Here's a statement from Diego Giuliani, the city president and GM. Through our conversations, it was clear that Yohan will bring an uncompromising desire to win, a relentless and thorough approach to his work, and values and behaviors that align naturally with our club. Yohan DeMay is going to be introduced today at Energizer Park. They have scheduled a 1:15 news conference. Before that, we have the Gas House Gang on KMOX and noon start as we continue to talk baseball and monitor what the Cardinals might do here this week as they continue to build towards the 2026 roster and beyond. It's really the beyond that's the important part. It's the right now for the St. Louis Billikens. They're on KMOX tonight at 7 o'clock. They're good. They're ranked 29th in the NCAA net rankings, and they're 9-1 on the season. They take on Bethune-Cookman at 7 o'clock. The Blues are struggling. We all know that right now, but they do have an opportunity to jump both Winnipeg and Chicago into 5th place if they can get a win tonight against the Winnipeg Jets. It's a 7 o'clock face-off at Enterprise Center. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens and City, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Kevin Killeen is coming in here with a bulletin.
There, when disaster hit.
We have a major fire. It's in South City near Jefferson and Choteau.
Currently, the situation that we have here, it's a company that stores oxygen tanks. Cracked there, it's an industrial gas company.
It's shooting these 100-pound or 200-pound cylinders 2 and 3 blocks away.
John Larrabee is in Airborne 2 and has a report from up above.
This is just unbelievable. I'm seeing one explosion after the next.
The flames just keep erupting out of this thing.
I do hear a woofing sound in the background. Are those the explosions you're talking about?
That's what you're hearing. And I mean, it almost sounds like fireworks.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX. The voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by the Polar Express at St. Louis Union Station. Get your tickets now at stlpolarexpressride.com.
It's not too late. The Polar Express is here through December 30th. Begin your journey at St. Louis Union Station Train Park, where you will meet the conductor inviting you to board the Polar Express train ride. Meet Santa Claus and his elves, interact with the Polar Express characters, and see St. Louis from 200 feet up and feel the magic of the Christmas story everybody loves. The Polar Express at Union Station. Book your trip at stlpolarexpressride.com. All aboard the Polar Express.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra and their monumental tour, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, to Enterprise Center December 23rd at 3 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. TSO, timeless and everlasting. Don't miss the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Lost Christmas Eve, produced by Live Nation. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
7:50, time to check in with Roger Brand, who's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, the procession of Lieutenant Sarah McCarthy, the funeral procession, is proceeding northbound on 141 right now. They're just passing Clayton Road. Fire truck staged on the overpass there on Clayton, and the funeral procession heading again up 141 up to 370 out to St. Charles County. This is the first leg of it. There'll be another leg that happens in about another hour or two as well. So just be prepared for the restrictions. The funeral procession doesn't take long to get through, but they are underway at this time. As far as other interstates and delays, well, you've still got this crash westbound 64 west of Hampton. The left lane is jammed at Boyle. There's slow traffic west of McKnight out to Lindbergh after that. Eastbound 64 coming off 61, so north of Wentzville Parkway to the Boulevards. Busy Boone's crossing through Clarkson and around Lindbergh past the Interbelt. The Interbelt's bogged down at Page. South 270, 364 to Ladue heavy. North 270, north of 55 all the way to Ladue slow. Eastbound 70 still busy. Wentzville Parkway up to 64. Lake St. Louis through TR Hughes a couple of spots. It jams east of Zembelt at the Blanchette. It looks like there could have been an incident there. 5th Street, and then it's a little busy again. The Rock Road into the airport. Northbound 55. Bayless up through River to Pear past Virginia. Westbound 64 Ball to the Poplar, and eastbound 64 backs up east of 50. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Really nice day today, Roger. We're looking at a high 57 degrees, says AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Clear this evening, increasing clouds, becoming breezy later tonight. After a sunny day, we'll get a couple of showers late, low 47. Then temperatures rise into the 50s before morning. Periods of rain, maybe even a thunderstorm tomorrow morning, then mostly cloudy in the afternoon, high 56. Temperatures fall into the upper 40s into Thursday afternoon. Currently, it's a mostly clear sky here in downtown St. Louis. Looks pretty good. 37 degrees at the Arch.
It is 7:52. President Trump increasing efforts to force Venezuela's president out of power. The U.S. has now put a blockade on many oil tankers using Venezuelan ports. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata has more.
The country, led by dictator Nicolas Maduro, has faced heavy sanctions from the U.S. for years.
Trump is ratcheting up the pressure on Venezuela.
International relations expert Oliver Stunkel thinks the ultimate goal is regime change.
I think there is a risk that the United States will inadvertently be pulled into a conflict without a clear exit strategy.
Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt is defending the military's use of force against drug boats near Venezuela. He argues critics who support military intervention in the Middle East or Europe shouldn't hesitate when the mission is stopping drugs from reaching U.S. soil.
Look, for the people objecting to this, they have no problem with aircraft carriers halfway around the world or troops somewhere else, but they somehow object when we're blowing narco-terrorist boats out of the water who are poisoning 100,000 Americans every year.
President Trump designated the Venezuelan government as a, quote, terrorist regime and ordered a blockade of sanctioned oil tankers.
A familiar face to some St. Louis TV news fans remains in the running to claim a top reality show seasonal top prize.
Savannah Louie used to work at KSDK Channel 5 as a news reporter and anchor. She's now made it to the final episode of the Survivor season, so good luck to her. But those wanting to watch the episode at its planned time tonight might be a little startled. That's because for the first time in Survivor history, the season finale is getting interrupted. CBS confirms President Donald Trump will deliver a live Oval Office address during the episode, pushing the big winner reveal a little later than planned. The episode will pause, air the address, then pick right back up where it left off. So yes, the $1 million moment is still coming, just with a presidential timeout in the middle. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
All right, good luck to Savannah. Forbes is out with America's top private companies for 2025.
Most are repeat performers, like this year's top private company, Cargill.
This is the 38th time it's been the number one company on our list, and Koch Industries is perennial the runner-up.
Forbes statistics editor Andrea Murphy on why they're not budging.
If you're a private company, you're exempt from some of the quarterly earnings reports and other sort of reporting requirements that the SEC requires if you are a publicly traded company.
And she says many are also family owned.
And they just don't have any intention of changing that.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
FIFA is lowering ticket prices for next year's World Cup because fans were angry. Jesse Mitchell has more.
FIFA, the governing body of football, or soccer as we say in the U.S., says it's slashing prices for next year's World Cup matches in North America. Following global backlash over skyrocketing ticket costs, FIFA now says teams' most loyal fans can snag select seats starting at $60. The $60 tickets will be given to national team federations for distribution among their fans. Some $60 tickets will also be available for the World Cup final, which had been priced upwards of $4,000.
StubHub this morning showed tickets for the Los Angeles games in June starting at $400.
I wonder how much Stan Kroenke will charge you to park there. It's 7:56. This is Total Information AM.
I'm Andrew Stoles, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
McKelvey Homes, they are celebrating today, actually, at their fantastic, and I mean fantastic, location in Wildwood. They're going to have a ribbon cutting there. I know they're going to have a big party out there today. What beautiful weather to have it, too. McKelvey Homes is very proud to announce their new location, the Reserve at Wildwood. And I've told you about this area. Now it is a reality. It is happening. This is the southwest corner of 109 and 100 in the heart of Wildwood, a beautiful area of St. Louis, and a stunning collection of homes from McKelvey Homes, high quality craftsmanship and style. And the Reserve at Wildwood is more than just a place to live. It's a place to thrive. You have outdoor lovers in mind on this one. Private playground, rain gardens, walking trails that wind through scenic green spaces. And of course, it's close to the Wildwood Town Center, Rockwood School District, and all the greatness that you'll experience at Wildwood. The perfect blend of luxury living and natural beauty. This is what McKelvey Homes has been doing for a long time. They always pick the best home sites, and they build the best homes. They're Missouri's oldest home builder. They are McKelvey Homes. Visit them online to see pictures of the Reserve at Wildwood and more information, or anywhere that they build in the St. Louis area. McKelveyhomes.com. Move up to McKelvey.
Prescription plan featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Let's check in with Roger Brand. He is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the funeral procession is now north of Olive on northbound 141, Debbie, but, they keep things shut down temporarily as the funeral procession passes through. So you've got delays on northbound 141 south of Big Bend all the way up through Manchester in pockets up towards 64, just kind of busy as you're falling in line behind the procession at this time. If you're on westbound 64 in the city, I think the left lane is still blocked. It's hard for me to tell in the sun there, but we still have a jam. We had that crash westbound 64 just west of Hampton. I think it's still out there. It's jammed at Boyle. Southbound 170 coming down from Page to 64. You've got heavy pockets. Eastbound 64 coming off 61, so Wentzville Parkway almost to the boulevard. Boone's Crossing to Timberlake and east of Lindbergh. It's heavy. Northbound 270 from north of 55 all the way up to Ladue is kind of slow. We have an incident eastbound 70 just past 5th Street. Traffic is jamming east of Zumbel. Well, it's also slow around Lake St. Louis into TR Hughes in a couple spots. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The president is gearing up for one final speech from Washington before Christmas.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump has a lot to say in what is likely to be his final address of the year.
He's going to talk a lot about the accomplishments over the past 11 months, all that he's done to bring our country back to greatness, and all he continues to plan to do.
Later this week, the president is planning to head to his Mar-a-Lago estate for the holidays. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The speech is scheduled to begin at 9 p.m. Eastern. It will interrupt the season 49 finale of Survivor on CBS, but the episode will pick up where it left off right after the address. The president has ordered a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going in and out of Venezuela. Roger Baker is a senior advisor at the global security company RAIN.
The administration appears to be trying to encourage, without direct military action, the removal of the Venezuelan regime.
That regime accuses President Trump of violating international law and promises to take the issue up with the UN. Rob Reiner's son Nick has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in his parents' stabbing death. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti has details from Los Angeles.
He is undergoing what we are told are routine medical clearances. He could make his first appearance in court for arraignment as early as today.
Newly released footage shows Nick Reiner, that is, in a gas station convenience store just hours after the killings and minutes before he was taken into custody. The New York Times is reporting a massage therapist arrived at the Reiner home Sunday when nobody came to the gate. Time says she called the couple's daughter, Romy, who arrived and found her father's body. A lot of people are getting ready for a holiday hangover of the financial variety.
A new survey by the financial technology company Affirm finds 70% of people using credit cards for their holiday purchases will not pay their bills in full next month. 18% don't expect to pay off their holiday purchases until next summer or later. Bank of America's Dennis Johnson says it's important to plan ahead and not overspend.
Make a list, check it twice, make sure that
you are being very thoughtful about what you're going to get for the folks that you love.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Police in Mississippi have arrested a woman for allegedly shoving razor blades in food at a couple of Walmarts in Biloxi. Police Lieutenant Candace Young.
They did another sweep of their merchandise on display for sale and found multiple loaves of bread that were compromised with razor blades.
No injuries reported. Suspect charged with attempted mayhem. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
At 8:03, we have sunny skies, 36 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Wednesday, December 17th. I'm Megan Lynch. Metro Transit tells KMOX News a call-a-ride van crashed on Interstate 70 near the Jennings Station Road ramp earlier this morning. Injured 3 passengers. The driver was not hurt. A spokesperson says the crash will not affect or cause delays for any other Metro passengers or services. A St. Louis City firefighter was checked out by paramedics, then returned to duty overnight after a floor collapse caused a fall into a basement. Fire Captain Garen Mosby told our news partners at Fox 2.
Just kind of underscores the challenges and the dangers in fighting fires and then in vacant building fires as well. Thankfully, our firefighter's fine.
That fire happened in the 4900 block of Arlington.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no.
No.
Just one member voting in opposition to a St. Louis County budget, which manages to trim about $50 million in spending from an $81 million deficit. But Councilwoman Lisa Clancy says she couldn't support the proposal over transparency concerns.
Negotiations have happened behind closed doors without public input and what's before us. And now we're being asked to vote on something we didn't get our hands on until 9:30 this morning, which I know was brought up as a concern for previous bills.
The council also approved dipping into RAM settlement funds to cover the remaining $15 million in the red. As overdose deaths continue to trend downward, KMOX is asking, why is St. Louis County adding dozens of new Narcan vending machines?
It doesn't signify a reversal. This is a time for us to be alarmed that we're seeing that our drug supply is changing.
St. Louis County Health Director Dr. Kanika Cunningham talking about carfentanil, a new drug that is found more and more in street drugs across the United States. She says this drug is far more lethal than regular fentanyl.
It's 100 times more potent than fentanyl. And really what you see that it requires at least 3 to 4 doses of naloxone to respond to it.
The vending machines provide more than just Narcan for free. They also have free hygiene kits and wound kits. In Clayton, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Senator Eric Schmidt says a $50 billion lawsuit filed against him is a desperate move by Beijing, coming after Missouri successfully sued China for their role in the pandemic.
They unleashed COVID on the world. We sued them and we won, and so this is just sour grapes. They've sued me for $50 billion, but I won't be apologizing anytime soon, as you'd imagine.
Schmidt tells Fox the new lawsuit is factually baseless, and he has no intention of issuing the apologies demanded by the Chinese government. Lots of Vatican rumors swirling around the possible naming of a new archbishop to lead the New York Archdiocese, as St. Louis native and current New York Archbishop Cardinal Timothy Dolan has surpassed the official bishop's retirement age of 75. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports.
Cardinal Dolan was appointed Archbishop of New York in 2009 by Pope Benedict. He submitted his resignation in February after reaching the mandatory bishop's retirement age of 75. It's up to the Pope when to accept it and appoint his successor, with that widely expected to come in the next few days. Strong rumors in the Big Apple right now point to an Illinois bishop as the leading candidate to replace Cardinal Dolan. He's Bishop Ron Hicks of Joliet. Bishop Hicks is 58 years old. He was born in Harvey, Illinois, and was installed as the Bishop of Joliet in 2020 by Pope Francis. No word from Cardinal Dolan, a former auxiliary bishop here, as to his retirement plans and will he return to his native St. Louis. Cardinal Dolan is, of course, a huge baseball Cardinals fan, while Pope Leo, a Chicago native, loves the White Sox. Bishop Hicks, meanwhile, says he's a true blue Cubs fan. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, Taco Buddha is opening a third location this week on a quest to open at least 4 more across the country by 2027. Taco Buddha, with locations in New City and Kirkwood, will take over the old Oleo location in Botanical Heights, just a block north of the Missouri Botanical Garden. Last year, owner Ben Hillman joined forces with High Point Drive-In to form a new restaurant group with the goal of expanding outside St. Louis and Missouri. That's according to the Business Journal. Coming up on Total Information AM, we're going to dig deeper into jobs numbers. It's a pretty weak picture right now based on some of the latest reports out. Bankrate economic analyst Sarah Foster will join me. Plus, we're going to look at some of the coldest winters on record in Missouri, not even close to what we've had here. And then we're going to look at bogus bags. Do you like designer bags? Well, there's a new AI program that can help you spot whether they're fake or not. Traffic and weather next. It's 8:08.
Life is better together. At Fairwinds River's Edge, dynamic activity calendars, excellent meal options, and an abundance of services come together to create a strong sense of community where meaningful connections are cultivated. Here, you can trust that there will always be something fun and social to do. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. To see what's happening this month, visit us on Facebook or online, fairwindsriversedge.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. 2025 was a turning point for America. House Republicans didn't just talk about the challenges facing our country, we delivered real solutions. I was proud to stand beside President Trump to deliver historic tax cuts, secure our border, and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. This year, my office helped constituents by solving over 500 cases and returning to them nearly $1.8 million. I'm Congressman Bob Onder, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
8:10, time for a check of the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, the funeral procession for Lieutenant Sarah McCarthy is currently northbound on 141 Earth City Expressway. It's just north of 70. It's headed up to 370 out to St. Charles. That's the first leg of the procession going through that area. We have a crash on westbound 70 just west of 270. As you come off the ramps there, it's jamming both north and south 270, ramping on to westbound 70 and eastbound 70. We had that crash at 5th Street. It's still jammed at Zumbel because of that. Eastbound 64, it looks like we have a crash as well right near Topgolf. It's backed up from about Boone's Crossing to that one. Then it's still slow east of Lindbergh through the Interbelt. Westbound 64, we still have a jam from Boyle out through Hampton. We had that crash just west of Hampton on westbound 64. South 270, Olive to Ladue is busy. North 270 from Tesson Ferry all the way up to Ladue is still slow. Northbound 55 backed up. Bayless all the way up through Virginia. Westbound 64, west of 25th Street to the 70 split. And then west of 3rd Street to the Poplars, having eastbound 64 east of 50 through Greenmount is bumper to bumper in the work zone. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
More sun than clouds today and mild this afternoon, high 53 to 57. After a clear evening, clouds will move in later tonight. The breeze will pick up. And there'll be a couple of late night showers around the low 47, although temperature will rise into the 50s before morning. Tomorrow will be breezy with rain and perhaps a thunderstorm in the morning and lingering clouds in the afternoon. Or morning high 56. Temperature will fall to the 40s in the afternoon. Mostly sunny Friday, brisk and colder, high 40. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sunny skies this morning, 40 in Florissant, 36 both in St. Peter's and downtown at the Arch. The November jobs report was delayed by the government shutdown, but it's out now. The jobs picture is weak by some estimates. Let's dig a little deeper with Bankrate economic analyst Sarah Foster. Sarah, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having me, Megan.
What are your overall takeaways from the new jobs numbers that we've received?
It is a noisy report, and this picture that we have of the job market right now isn't very pretty. I think broadly speaking, we do know that the labor market is cooling. Of course, it could be cooling even faster. We could have a worse picture, so to speak. But we're still talking about millions of Americans finding it hard to get a job, the highest unemployment rate since 2021, and then more time for people to be stuck on the sidelines. We've been kind of stuck in this low hire, no fire environment for years now. And it's kind of culminating in many Americans continuing to tell us that it's tough for them to find a job even when they want one.
So this is not necessarily seasonal or typical for this time of year then.
We do know that this data shows that the shutdown, whether the government is reopened, that's good news because we now have the data that we need. But the challenge now is kind of discerning between the noise here. Finding what's typical for this time of year is really difficult when we've gone the longest stretch of time in the modern era without data on the labor market. Something that I continue to think about is whether this job market is slowing because workers are finding it hard to get a job because employers aren't hiring, or whether the job market is slowing just because we've hit maximum employment and because there's just not enough, there are no more people to really fill open positions. Now, I think broadly speaking, it's fair to say that the economy doesn't need to create as many jobs as it used to back when the economy was reopening from the pandemic. But it's also the case that there's just so many Americans stuck on the sidelines right now, really facing a labor market that probably feels similar to what happened in the aftermath of the Great Recession.
I know Fed Chair Jerome Powell made some comments about the job numbers. What is he saying about it?
Fed Chair Jerome Powell actually really opened up one of the most eye-opening parts about his remarks was that he mentioned that because of the past 2 years of benchmark revisions, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, their surveys overestimating employment data, that if the trends of the past few years were to take hold, we might actually be in a situation now where employers are actually cutting more jobs and job growth is negative. Broadly speaking, I think something that's been really fascinating to look at is the labor market slowdown. The unemployment rate is near historic levels. It would typically be called a historically low unemployment rate. But this is really the first time since the Great Recession era that we've had 4 months of job gains in the negative. And if what Fed Chair Powell, his estimates are that, job growth might be actually negative overall, if that were to take hold, it would be a completely different picture today that we have of the labor market than maybe the one that we assume right now, which is that low hire, no fire zone.
What about underemployment? Is that a continued issue for Americans?
What we do hear from many Americans is that it's tough for them to find a position. Many of them are actually working part-time for economic reasons when they'd actually be preferring to work full-time. There was actually a pretty sizable increase in the amount of Americans who are working part-time for economic reasons. We also hear from many Americans that, they're not in the labor force right now. They're not looking for a position and they're not employed, but they would be interested in actually looking for something new. So what that tells me is that it's a really hard time for many Americans to get a position in their industry, to get one that they do actually think works for their situation. And so it results in many Americans actually feeling like they are underemployed. I think especially back to those younger workers where we saw a pretty significant uptick in the unemployment rate for teenagers, the unemployment rate for recent college graduates, and even those between the ages of 20 and 24. When you're someone who's trying to crack that labor market, try to break into it for the first time, it's a lot tougher in these periods where companies aren't hiring for new positions, just because a lot of these entry-level jobs are the ones that aren't getting created in tougher economies. So it's certainly not an easy labor market for many people, but those young workers especially are feeling the pinch.
Sarah, thank you for your insights. Appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me, Megan.
That is Bankrate economic analyst Sarah Foster joining us this morning here on KMOX. We're going to get a check of our forecast in just a moment, but have you been complaining about this winter being too cold? Well, MU state climatologist Zach Leeser tells Missouri Net's Cameron Connor it could be a lot worse.
Living in Missouri, we're fortunate that when we talk about the coldest winters, there's quite a few people still around that remember our coldest winter ever. And so the coldest winter Missouri's ever had is 1977 through 1978. And so when I mention winter, this will be the meteorological winter, which is just the 3-month period from December through February. And so we saw unusually cold temperatures that year with lots of snow. But even more interesting, though, is that the next year, the winter of 78 into 79 finishes the second coldest winter. So really that 2-year stretch is the coldest we've ever seen in Missouri. But otherwise, it's a little bit more variable. We had a cold stretch with several cold winters in the early 1900s and 1910s. And so 1918 is number 3 on the list. 1905 is number 5. And the fourth coldest winter is 1936. Also of note is that a lot of these are kind of older records. And the coldest winter we've really seen as of recent is 2013 into 2014. And that's our 10th coldest winter during that time.
Okay, so 2013-14 barely made the list. So what exactly happened in the 1900s during that century to make things so cold?
Yeah, so it really goes back to, if you look at the state's climate history during all of the 20th century. And so I always say when we look at our temperature record in Missouri, there's kind of 3 periods. And so we have statewide data going all the way back to 1895. Really, there's some variability early on, but then it was pretty warm in the early 1900s. And so we see our Dust Bowl years with historic heat and drought. The 50s were also very warm and dry as well. Then in the 60s through the 80s, you really see in Missouri's temperature record this cool period. So really 3 decades of mostly cooler than average temperatures. And that's when we're seeing these all-time coldest winters in the late 70s. And it was really kind of a lot of factors. When we think about kind of long-term or seasonal prediction, a lot of times we think about El Nino and that phase every couple of years where we switch from a La Nina to El Nino or back. But there's also some longer term kind of teleconnections, we call them, or areas across the world where we watch patterns to see how they're evolving slowly. And so it was kind of one of those things where you had, the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean and the atmosphere were kind of in sync for this colder pattern. And so that's why we see it really for a lot of the U.S. And then now, since about 1990 to present, we've been warmer again since those colder temperatures.
When we talk about winters this cold, does that also assume that there's a lot of snowfall and precipitation that comes with it? Or is that not necessarily the case when it comes to this brutal of temperatures?
Yeah, it's interesting. And the answer is that a lot of these winters, at first glance, are drier than average. And so if we look at total precipitation across that 3-month period, that includes rain, but also when we're talking about cold, includes snowfall and how much liquid would be in that snowfall if we melted it down to rainfall. And so really, if you look, 9 of the top 10 coldest winters were also drier than average. And that is kind of expected. Typically, when temperatures are colder, there's not as much moisture in the atmosphere, but it's a little bit deceiving because while these were overall drier in terms of precipitation, almost all of them were snowier than average in that case. So, and this is actually something we saw last winter too here in Missouri, where we had some areas that were dry in precipitation in January and February, but they ended up with a snowier than average winter because pretty much all the precip that fell during that period was of the frozen type.
That's MU State climatologist Zach Leeser with Missouri Net's Cameron Connor.
Sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Take it to Telly.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Want to tell you about Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000, 314-966-5000, yourEyeDoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates is the best eye doctor in St. Louis. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andrew Royer. How good are they? Over 250 doctors go to see Ophthalmology Associates. You know they need good eyesight. They need their vision checked, and so should you. Not only is it a great way to check your vision and your eye health, but your overall health can really be detected through the health of your eyes. Ophthalmology Associates can guide you through all that with a very easy, comfortable annual eye exam. Just go to yourEyeDoc.com or call that number 314-966-5000. Tell them Tom Ackerman at KMOX sent you over, and you'll be all set up. 12990 Manchester Road, just a half mile west of 270. It's Ophthalmology Associates.
Let's just traffic now. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we have heavy traffic both ways on 370 around our city, westbound approaching it, eastbound coming across the Discovery Bridge. The funeral procession just went westbound across the bridge into St. Charles County. Eastbound Highway 70, Zumbel in through 5th Street's jammed from an earlier crash, still slow all the way into 270. The 270 ramps, northbound 270, north 270 from the south, Tesson Ferry all the way up to Ladue, still pretty busy. In the right lanes north of Dorset up to 70 slow because of a recent crash at the end of those ramps. They just cleared the crash. Eastbound 64 near Annie Guns, it's over on the shoulder. Traffic's jammed approaching Long Road, and then it's slow from Lindbergh into Big Bend. Westbound 64 Boyle to Hanley, still pretty heavy. If you're on the run up northbound 55, Bayless all the way up through Virginia. Westbound 64 west of 3rd Street to the Poplar, and eastbound 64 Greenmount most of the way to 158's busy. I'm Roger Brand in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, it looks like we are going to have more sun than clouds, high near 57 degrees. Right now we have sunny skies, 36 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Take it to Telly.
One little light can stall out your entire day, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver. Dad, what do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Telly, he said. So I did. But they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. Take it to Telly.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
You're listening to Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. It's getting harder to spot counterfeit merchandise, but now some retailers are turning to artificial intelligence to spot the fakes. CBS LA's Christine Lazar has the story.
'Tis the season to spoil those you love, and for some, that means splurging on a luxury handbag.
So we have every LV bag you could ever imagine.
A lot of Louis Vuitton.
A lot of Louis Vuitton. It's our most popular.
Foreign Objects in West LA sells pre-owned luxury items, mostly handbags, for 50 to 70% off the price of retail. But it's still a pretty penny to buy pre-owned. What would this resell for?
This one, even in this worn condition, would probably still be like $700.
With that much money at stake, it's little surprise that the counterfeit market is booming. A recent study by the Organization for Economic and Cooperation Development found that global illicit trade reached an estimated value of $467 billion in 2021.
It's a big problem right now. Designers is expensive. A lot of these designer brands are raising their prices, so the demand for fakes is higher than it ever was, I would say.
How good are some of these fakes?
To the naked eye, it would be hard to tell. To anyone untrained, they would think it's a real thing. It's really all about the details. I'm just going to start capturing photos.
Which is why Foreign Objects founder Will Dicha uses artificial intelligence to authenticate the bags he buys and then resells.
This is a beautiful Hermes Kelly box calf leather classic Hermes bag.
Will showed us how the system works.
The devil is in the details, they say, so you have to look at every single microscopic detail.
Using technology made by New York-based company Entropy, Will takes a series of photos of the handbag and uploads it to an app.
I take photos of basically every square inch of this.
From the stitching to the hardware, the branding, and the leather, including highly magnified photos.
It's looking for any little detail that might be off, because a lot of these fake bags these days, and you'll see one in a second, they're so accurately done that it might be that most of it looks really good and authentic, but then there's one little detail that's off.
The photos then go to a cloud within the app.
And on the cloud, we have our algorithms that have been trained on millions of different data points associated with that particular brand, that particular style. And then they typically instantaneously get a response. Yes, this is authentic, which means we have certified that product and we back that product with money,
Giving the seller and the buyer assurance that the item isn't counterfeit. Entropy's CEO says when they do find a fake, they test it.
Over 70% of them had lead or arsenic on them. So if you're a mother and if you have a fake bag which has lead on it, your child is potentially touching that and putting the hands in their mouth.
Meaning fakes are not just an economic issue, they're a health hazard.
People think that it's a victimless crime. What's the big deal? Why do I want to pay money and buy the real thing? It's too expensive. It's not that valuable. They're the victim.
Entropy says it has a 98.86% accuracy rate. Are you ever fooled?
Yeah.
Will showed us a recent bag he purchased. Just looking at this with your eyes, does it look authentic to you?
Yeah, it looks authentic, passes the eye test at first.
But Entropy's technology determined it's counterfeit. Foreign objects took the financial hit, and an unsuspecting customer did not.
At the end of the day, I'm here to serve the customers and give them the best products, the best deals. So I want to make sure they are buying a real piece, and they know that.
That again is CBS LA's Christine Lazar. It's now 8:29. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina, your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
To generations of hockey fans in North America, Dan Kelly wasn't just a broadcaster. He was the sound of St. Louis Blues hockey. His crisp, powerful play-by-play on KMOX brought the speed, passion, and intensity of the game into homes across the continent. Carried far and wide by the station's booming nighttime signal, Kelly's calls became part of St. Louis sports history.
Hello, everyone. This is Dan Kelly, inviting you to sit back and enjoy with me the thrilling memories of the St. Louis Blues.
Harvey can't find it. Clears it over for McCreary. McCreary out to Sabrin. Sabrin right in. He scores!
Whether calling the Blues, Cardinals, or Mizzou, Dan Kelly's voice set the standard for excellence and cemented his place among the greatest in the game. Dan Kelly, a KMOX pioneer.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
It is 8:30. Let's get a check of the roads now with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We got some trouble on 270 now, Megan. This traffic reports a service of Fort Pretty Paws Mobile Pet Spa. Looks like crashes both ways, 270 south of 44. The one that's most impactful is northbound left lane. It's jammed back to Tess on Ferry southbound. Just a short backup at 44. Once you get around it, North 270 still slow. Doherty Ferry all the way to Ladue. South 270 south of 364 to Ladou's busy. They cleared that crash to the right shoulder, eastbound 64 past Danny Guns. It's still a solid jam, though, back through Long Road. It's heavy Lindbergh into Big Bend. They cleared the crash westbound 64 at Hampton, but from the Science Center to Hanley, it remains slow there. Eastbound Highway 70 still busy. West of 94 into Earth City. That's from an earlier crash. Traffic unwinding there. Downtown, eastbound 44 onto westbound 70 past the Musial Veterans Bridge is slow. North 55 just a little busy. North of Bales to River to Pear. Westbound 64 west of 3rd Street to the Poplars heavy. And eastbound 64 Greenmount, most of the way, 158 is slow as well. Since 2018, Four Pretty Paws Mobile Pet Spa has provided stress-free one-on-one grooming right at your doorstep. Convenient, personal, and trusted. Book your holiday appointment at fourprettypaws.com. Now serving Southern Illinois. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it looks like we're going to have more sun than clouds today, a high of 57. Clear this evening, but increasing clouds and breezy later tonight with a couple of showers late possible, an overnight low of 47. Right now, sunny skies, 36 degrees in downtown St. Louis. Crypto giants like Ripple and Circle have gotten preliminary approval from a top banking regulator to establish national trust banks. We wanted to see what this meant for the banking system when it comes to these digital assets. So we've brought in our weekly guest, KMOX business analyst Jerome Katz, professor in the Chaffetz School of Business at St. Louis University. So Jerry, does this mean like we'll actually be seeing a brick and mortar Bitcoin bank?
Probably not, but they will have a St. Louis presence. These banks don't require a physical location, and most of the time, because they're dealing in Bitcoin, everything's online. So you'll see the banks more as websites than anything else.
How secure is all of this?
Well, in terms of having someone trustworthy holding your Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, these banks that have now gotten federal regulation are the safest place to put them because they have to keep your money safe and they can't mix your Bitcoin with the bank's Bitcoin. The natural changes in the value of Bitcoin going up and down, the bank doesn't have any control over that. So it doesn't, having it in a bank doesn't protect you from Bitcoin losing value.
So for listeners out there, let's say it's just an average person that has some Bitcoin, how does it help them?
Well, there are a couple of interesting things. One of the companies that received permission to create a trust bank is Fidelity, the big stock company. And a lot of us have our stocks held by Fidelity, and Fidelity is one of the largest holders of retirement accounts in the country. What this means is Fidelity can now include Bitcoin assets in your retirement benefits. So for people who have retirement with Fidelity, if they want to play with Bitcoin and include Bitcoin along with other highly volatile speculative investments, they can now do that. The other thing would be kind of interesting for St. Louis companies that are doing business worldwide and using Bitcoin to pay. If you're using Bitcoin, the question was, how do you arrange to make payments? But with these trust banks, you literally can have your Bitcoin at a trust bank here in St. Louis, if it's Fidelity or some other place online, and they could move your Bitcoin to the company overseas that you're dealing with, which means instead of having your money go through the conventional system, taking days or even weeks to clear the banks here and the banks in the foreign country, if it's all being done electronically in these Bitcoin crypto banks, you could have your money move within minutes. So it could improve the cash flow for local businesses that are doing overseas trades.
Jerry, thank you so much. Appreciate your insight.
Have a great week.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your Money Report now, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Warner Brothers Discovery is telling its shareholders to reject the offer from Paramount Skydance, calling the bid inferior and inadequate. Shares of Netflix are now higher in early trading on bets it will prevail in taking over the entertainment studio. Paramount is a parent company of CBS and Nickelodeon and is controlled by software billionaire Larry Ellison and his son David. Jobs Day returned to Wall Street yesterday after a break from the government shutdown, and it's a sluggish picture for the labor market. That put pressure on the markets yesterday. And Amazon is said to be in initial talks to invest at least $10 billion in OpenAI and sell the ChatGPT maker its chips. A deal would mark a win for Amazon's fledgling semiconductor division and its efforts to expand its presence in the artificial intelligence industry. NVIDIA dominates the market for chips that create AI platforms. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
8:40, time for a check of the roads again with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, it looks like we still have this crash in the left lane, northbound 270, south of 44. Traffic's bumper to bumper coming up from Tesson Ferry to that point. It's still slow, Doherty Ferry all the way up to Ladue after that. South 270, 364 down to Ladue, still a few heavy spots. Eastbound 70, a little busy around the Blanchett into our city. It's almost back to normal there, though, I think. If you're on eastbound 64, still backed up traffic through the valley, long road up through to about Chesterfield Parkway West. We had a crash in that area earlier. East of Lindbergh, still busy most of the way into Big Bend. South 170, Delmore to 64, a couple of slowdowns. Westbound 64 on the brakes at Hampton to Clayton Skinker. Then it's slow most of the way to Hanley. 55 approaching Weber through Holly Hills, a little busy. Eastbound 44 approaching the Musel Veterans Bridge, slow. Westbound 64 heavy on the Poplar. Eastbound 64 Greenmount, most of the 158 is still slow. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty
at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
It's 8:42 now. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. The White House ballroom construction can continue for now. It's time for our weekly discussion with KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris Young and Kaiser. Brad, good morning.
Good morning, Megan.
So the ballroom's being built on the site of the demolished East Wing of the White House. The National Trust for Historic Preservation has sued, saying that this project skirted some legally required reviews and approvals. In contrast, the Trump administration says it's done nothing wrong. A judge is saying, let's let it continue. We'll continue with some of the work for now. So start us off with, what is the National Trust and what interest does that group have in this matter?
Well, the National Trust is empowered to, along with the National Capital Planning Commission, they're the agencies that are empowered to oversee construction of property on the Capitol grounds. And so they sued to stop the President Trump's plan to demolish the ballroom, which has already occurred, and to build a new ballroom. So the judge was presented yesterday at the close of business yesterday with some very interesting questions about to what extent can this organization override the president, since the White House is considered the president's residence. Also, there's national security issues here, because underneath the ballroom, if you go down a classified number of feet down, you have what's called the POC, the Presidential Emergency Operations Center. So there's national security issues here as well. So what the judge ruled yesterday, though, was to kind of a split the baby situation. So the judge ruled that there was not going to institute any sort of a restraining order against the White House. However, the judge also placed a time limit that the plans for the new building have to be submitted by the end of the month, and that they're going to revisit in January this issue of standing, whether the National Trust for Historic Preservation actually has standing, whether they can force the president to do anything when it comes to this. And if so, what can they force them to do? There's also environmental issues that have to be resolved, as well as whether or not the Administrative Procedures Act even is involved here, which would require public comment and the posting of the plans, and it takes months and months and months under the APA. Those are all combined into what's happening right now with this litigation.
Okay, and I guess we'll revisit in January too. So another thing that the Trump administration is looking at is reclassifying cannabis from the strictest category of controlled substances. This is something that's been tossed around, I think, ever since, marijuana became legal recreational in some states. So looking at this nationwide, what are the legal pros and cons here, Brad?
Well, specifically, let's look at what was done. The president is considering ordering agencies to schedule or change the schedule of this drug. Right now, it's a Schedule 1 drug, like heroin, methamphetamine. Those are Schedule 1 drugs. And to reclassify it as a Schedule 3 drug, like codeine mixed with acetaminophen and those types of drugs that are less damaging than Schedule 1 drugs. But the practical impact would be multifactorial here. And let me kind of break it down for you. First of all, it would allow research to go into marijuana. Is it beneficial for controlling pain? Is it beneficial for helping sleep? Is it beneficial for reducing anxiety? We don't know the answers to those, because up till now, you could not do testing because it was a Schedule 1 drug. Once it becomes a Schedule 3 drug, that testing can continue. But more importantly, I think locally is employers around the country, and even right here in Missouri and Illinois, have laws on the books in their workers' compensation acts regarding the testing for controlled substances. And so as long as the federal government maintains this to be a controlled substance, even if it's a Schedule 3, employers can continue to test for employees who are using drugs in the workplace. But were the federal government to eliminate the scheduling of marijuana, then at that point, marijuana would be treated no differently than aspirin, and employers could not even test for it when it comes to work-related injuries.
Do we know how soon any decision might be made on this?
Well, the word that came from the White House this week was imminent. So we don't know exactly. I would anticipate something probably in January. I don't know that we'll see it by the end of the year, but probably in January. And then at that point, you can anticipate greater studies being done to see whether or not, because frankly, we don't know whether or not marijuana is or is not beneficial for all of the things that I previously mentioned.
Well, Brad, thank you so much and happy holidays.
My pleasure, and same to you, Megan.
KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris Young and Kaiser, joining us here on KMOX.
You know how we all of our kids make lists and everything and visit with Santa, and I happen to be really good friends with Santa. It's like we're the same people. So every once in a while, you know, when he's got some free time, which he did, we're cool. So he always makes it a point to stop in and have an adult beverage with me. I was talking to him about, do you ever have requests for a homeowner wanting a furnace or an air conditioner? He said he does. And I said, so what do you deliver on that? Because I'm your best bud and you never let me know. So I've never delivered anything or put anything together. But he said he was going to leave my number and my card. If you don't find it, here's what's on my card. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Merry Christmas and God bless.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
This is Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. As the year comes to a close, I want to thank our clients, colleagues, and communities for your trust and support. We're especially proud of the Stifel U.S. ski team. Their drive, resilience, and pursuit of their goals this winter reminds us what's possible when we stay committed. From all of us at Stifel, we wish you and your family a joyful holiday season and a new year filled with health, happiness, and success. Stifel, where success meets success.
The Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for their holiday food drive. Dave and the crew will be out at Hardee's in St. Peters on Friday, December 19th, starting at 1 p.m. All donations benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurities. The Dave Glover Show, Hardee's and Operation Food Search, and the Holiday Food Drive. Get all the details about the campaign, or to make a donation online, head to KMOX.com/events.
Thanks for listening this morning to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. Let's see what's ahead for the Millennium Hotel site, maybe also the East Riverfront. We're going to get that look with Ryan McClure, Executive Director of the Gateway Arch Park Foundation, joining us this morning on the line. Good morning, Ryan.
Hi, Megan. It's great to be with you this morning.
Well, thank you for joining us. I know that the foundation has a lot of things lined out for 2026 and beyond, but first, explain to our listeners what the Gateway Arch Park Foundation is.
Sure. We are the official philanthropic partner and nonprofit for Gateway Arch National Park and surrounding areas. So our mission is to ensure that the Arch and surrounding areas are vital, well-supported, and vibrant resources for the community for generations to come.
Give us a big picture of what the future vision is for the area surrounding the Arch.
Well, there's a lot of great things, transformational things that can happen in downtown St. Louis and specifically around the Arch. As hopefully your listeners know, The foundation purchased the Millennium Hotel site earlier this year, and we are actively doing demolition at the site right now so that it can be redeveloped and an economic engine for St. Louis again. And then around that, I mean, our foundation is always doing free programming like Winterfest that's going on right now. Folks should come visit that. We just reopened the old courthouse this year. But we want to keep going. We are working with the National Park Service to expand Gateway Arch National Park to East St. Louis, which was the original vision of the park when it was designed in 1947. And we're working with stakeholders like MoDOT, East-West Gateway Council of Governments, City of St. Louis, and Greater St. Louis, Inc. on potential solutions for the I-44 corridor that really divides the Arch grounds and the riverfront from downtown St. Louis.
So let's start with that, since that's the last one you mentioned. 44, what is the vision for how that would no longer divide things?
Well, so I to be honest, there is not a one solution that is evident today. The important thing is that we study all of the alternatives that could happen there, because in 15 years, the Poplar Street Bridge and the I-64 double-decker are going to need major interventions. We're talking about substantial interventions on those infrastructure elements. That creates opportunities to rethink things around it, like the I-44 corridor, which is really divided downtown from the riverfront and from the Arch from the moment it existed for over 60 years.
It all sounds expensive.
Well, we don't know what it will cost because we have to study it first. And that's the great thing. The first step, and this is going to kick off next year, is MoDOT is doing traffic studies on that entire area, which will be paired with an economic impact study that will study all of the alternatives that could happen on the I-44 corridor and around that. Gateway Arch Park Foundation is committed to raising the private money that's needed to do that economic impact study that will be paired hand in hand with the traffic study MoDOT, East-West Gateway, and the City of St. Louis are doing. So it's truly going to be a public-private partnership that can lead to some dramatic transformations for downtown.
One of the things that really interests and frankly excites me as an Illinois girl is the thought that there could be some redevelopment of the East St. Louis riverfront and really connect it with Missouri, really bridge that span over the Mississippi River.
Sure. And it is exciting, and it's gaining momentum. And really, you think of it, like I said earlier, Eero Saarinen in 1947, when he won the design competition for the Arch, had an Illinois component in his design. When we did the City Arch River design competition in 2010, Illinois was part of every design. And the National Park Service has had the legislative authority to expand to the East St. Louis riverfront since the early 90s. It is time to enact that vision. And we are working with stakeholders in the Metro East, with the City of East St. Louis, Metro East Parks and Recreation Department. Environmental testing is happening on the potential sites where that could expand right now. So there's true momentum towards this, and it needs to happen. It needs to happen because it realizes the original vision of the park, and it can be an economic driver for East St. Louis and the Metro East, which is an imperative.
Ryan, really appreciate you bringing this vision of the future to us as we head into the new year. Thanks for your time this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you, Megan.
That is Ryan McClure, Executive Director of the Gateway Arch Park Foundation, joining us this morning here on KMOX.
Changing careers in your 40s is not something we all set out to do, but some people are even going back to school at that age. We'll talk about how and why. Also, City SC has hired a new coach. We'll discuss that with Dale Schilly. That and more coming up on the Chris and Amy Show next on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Bills Happen.
You don't have to wait until January to work on your financial goals for next year. Sherry Greco-Rikis of EP Wealth in Chicago says saving money in 2026 will be a matter of set it and forget it.
Just automate it. Just have it go out of your account and go into a high interest savings. And when you have enough,
you can start investing.
She says you can also work on next year's savings goals for travel or big purchases. I'm Rob Hart.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen! So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. You could find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow. Billshappen.com is safe, secure, and all online. Just remember, when you need cash, go to billshappen.com. Billshappen.com for the cash you need now. Billshappen.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.